Is he alone? Is he at the airport? Is he on a fucking bus? Is he on the plane? Is there a clicking noise? There's probably a clicking noise. Is this a clip show? I don't know if it's a clip show. It's a fucking show. Just listen, goddammit! Hey, what's happening? Mike Schmidt, 40-year-old boy podcast. Where is he? Is he on a bus? Is he in a train? Is he in a plane? Is it a bird? Is it a plane? Is it Superman? Am I in a phone booth? What if I did a show from a phone booth? Would you promise to call? My friend David Lee Roth once said that once. Hey, I'll do a show from a phone booth if you promise to call. Actually, he didn't say that. I said that. Why am I confusing myself with my friend David Lee Roth? Why am I saying that we're friends? We're not really friends. Are we? We could be pals. I'm not sure. Am I in a basement? I could be in a basement. Is there atmospheric noise? Am I in my own apartment? Am I in the youngest building in Hollywood? That's what I've done. I've switched it to the youngest building in Hollywood. I've been scouring and waiting. I'm actually squatting in a grotto right now as they build it and put it together. This is the youngest building. You can still smell the plaster, folks. Which, by the way, is my next CD, Smell the Plaster. I cannot wait to put it out there for you guys to listen to it. It's going to be part comedy. Well, that's a generous term. And then part home improvement. I will tell you exactly how to build a grotto and how to squat in it afterwards. Because I've got that squared away. Yeah, squatto. Like we'll call it that. Who's Squanto? Squanto's an Indian dude, but then there was Quato, who was the dude who grew out of the guy's chest in Total Recall. Dude, you know what? Fuck that. That's my new album. Squanto, Quato, Squatto, and Grotto.
The law firm of.
Oh my God. Well, I'll tell you what. Now let me ask you this, right. David Hernandez, who's here this week, or actually I'm there.
You're here.
If you were to go into court and you had a murder charge against you, and that's not a stretch.
No, not really.
You are a guy who's prone to those sort of outbursts. Yes. Who do you want representing you? Do you want Grotto, Squatto, Squanto, or Quato?
I want Jim Otto.
Jim Otto from the Raiders?
Senator from the
Raiders.
The
zombie Jim Otto who comes back from the dead?
And represents me.
All right, that's not bad. Because I got to think Squanto's got to be very monochrome. He's going to be very monotone, monologue-ish. He's a soft-spoken dude, right?
Yeah, you want somebody that's going to take charge like a center.
I want a guy who's going to keep me out of jail. I don't want a guy who's going to spear a buffalo in the head. I'm sorry, I can't get behind a Squanto. But I think I'd want a Quato because, although the weird thing is, the dude who is the keeper of the Quato has to walk up to the stand and then open his shirt so then the Quato can come out and ask the questions.
Where's the Quato from?
Dude, Total Recall. He was the Quaid. He was the little midget dude who lived in a guy's belly, but he didn't live in his belly like he was part of him. He was like a weird twin.
Oh, man.
That's got to be a tough time getting a shirt for a Quato, right? Don't you think? You got to go in to try on your shirts. That's got to be a fitting room, and he's all trying to keep them all quiet, and you got to put your shirt over him. That's grim. I'm not a fan of the Quato. I'm certainly not a fan of shopping for clothes with the Quato. You know who I don't want to shop? I also don't want to shop for clothes from Mr. Cater. Because Quato, Cater. There you go. That's a new. You know what? We're making him a partner.
Is he a sweat hog?
Yeah. No. We're making him a partner in the firm. It's now the firm of Squanto, Squatto, Grotto, Quato, and Cater.
Mr. Cater.
Mr. Cater. All right. That's a big window. That is a big window on that door. That's a window the Three Stooges break immediately. Although I don't know if I can trust them to do it and put it up. Although maybe I do. Maybe I interview them and I go, you know what, guys? Can you put a window up that you're not going to break? And then they would probably think about it and they go, meh. And then one of them would poke the other in the eye. Why would I say the other? There's three of them. Mo's in charge. All right, so, folks, we are here in the basement. We're here with our friend David Hernandez, and we've got several bones to pick with him. First of all, I should tell you this.
I will address each charge individually.
All right, first, both of us we're in a technological coma.
Dude, I don't even know what to tell you.
I've been coming here, and we record on the discs, as we've talked about. And by the way, you are saving all of those discs for posterity, correct?
Actually, we were recording over last time you were here. What?
Aren't you, that's my voice, though. I mean, we can't do that, right?
Yeah, we can.
Why?
Because it exists.
We'll get more discs. I mean, you got to save me, man. You got to put me up for posterity. What if something happens? What if there's a fire, a terrible flood? I swear to God, it wasn't my fault.
There has been a flood, and all my things got erased.
Right. Again,
so it's about time you felt my pain.
No, I don't care about your things. I'll be honest. Yeah, right. But if there's discs with my voice, we should preserve them for future. What if the Smithsonian comes a calling? And they're like, dude, we want early bees.
You got any zip discs with a guy yelling?
We need early bees.
Dude, I got a shitload of those.
Yeah, well, you should. Certainly, you should find a shelf for them.
Well, this was my backup emergency plan because I thought we were going to be able to record on your computer, but that didn't work.
Once I knew I was going to be here recording with David, I told him the date I was coming, and he's like, dude, what if we tried to record through your computer? And I
thought it would be easier for you.
Well, I was horrified by that because that meant I had to do some work. I'm like, dude, fuck that. I'd rather you did it on the discs. We sent it to Lily and she put it together. However, Lily Von Stupp, producer of this show, not available this week. There's a couple of reasons why we're here. I'm here in I was coming to Wisconsin anyway to see my beautiful girlfriend Jill, and then always if I'm in town, I ask David if I can come and record with him. But also it was kind of paramount this week because our friend, it's not really paramount. I got to be honest with you, because I've learned how to do the recording and stuff, as evidenced by the second half of last week's show. Lily took off in the middle of it. Like, Lily was like George Gobel last week. She popped in, did a little spot, and then she said goodnight, and then she walked off to clear the couch for somebody else. Remember that on Carson when they used to have somebody bail?
George Gobel?
That's who she was. She was George Gobel.
All right.
You ever feel like the whole world is a blue suit and you're a pair of tan shoes? What is that line from the fucking commercial? Is that Gobel's? You ever see those? I look, because all right, Johnny Carson show and all those old dudes, and good for them. And I know they were funny at that point in time. However, whenever I see those things, I'm just, it doesn't move fast enough for me. I don't think it's funny. I don't get it. Every time I hear the Rat Pack making themselves laugh, I'm just like, you are self-indulgent cocksuckers. I hate them. I don't get it.
I'll take an exception to the Rat Pack.
All of them?
For the most part.
You are not a Peter Lawford guy and don't even pretend.
No, I like the Rat Pack. I like the idea of the Rat Pack.
I like the idea of the Rat Pack. However, I don't like the fact that Frank Sinatra is putting his cigars out on Sammy Davis Jr.'s head because he's a black guy. You know what I mean? It just seems
he's a
weird.
Black guy?
Yeah.
He's Smokey. He called him Smokey.
Is that what he did?
Yeah, I thought that was his nickname for him.
I thought it was because he put his cigarettes out on his head.
Well,
that's exactly why he called him Smokey.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because they were just mean to him. They were totally racist. He had to wash all their shoes. I mean, he was that guy. He was kind of in the Rat Pack because he was the guy they shit on.
I think that's all up front for I saw a thing on Sinatra on HBO, and I mean, he did a lot for minorities, way ahead of his time on a lot of things. But there wasn't a point when they were doing their Rat Pack thing where they made Sammy the butt of all the jokes. And I don't know. I still think the guys are pretty cool.
Listen,
what you guys do to me? What?
See, this is the problem with
That's
having
what the UN of Evil does to me. I'm Sammy Davis Jr.
Oh, please. This is the problem with having a guy here broadcasting with me, because normally I could just fire off and nobody's going to call me on my bullshit. I don't know a thing about the Rat Pack. I mean, they could have been lovely people. Sinatra could have been Martin Luther King Gabagool. I have no idea. Well, seriously. I mean, because I don't know. He could have been a great guy, and all of them could have been fantastic. And look, I will tell you this. I think Sammy Davis Jr. fucking crazy talented. I mean, you can't argue with that. And all of the Rat Pack dudes.
I would not argue with that.
Like, to me, Sinatra is, that's not for me.
I know. I like the concept of these guys who were like cool, and everything they did was cool, and they hung out and it was cool. And them just being cool made stuff cool. And I like that too, because I told you, like, that's what Ocean's 11 is to me. Cool guys doing cool stuff in a cool place, which is a remake of a Rat Pack movie, and so that's why they're cool dudes, you know. But overall, to me, it just seemed like Sammy got short shrift within the Rat Pack, because he's certainly cooler than Peter Lawford, and I say cooler than Dean Martin. Nah, nobody's cooler than Dean Martin.
You think Sinatra and Dean Martin are both heads and shoulders above Sammy Davis Jr.?
What, in terms of stature?
Well, I mean, what was Sammy, 4'1"?
Oh, yeah, okay. Now talent-wise, Sammy Davis Jr., but as far as being
incredible.
Cool, I think Dean's cooler than Frank.
Dean's even cooler than Frank?
I think Dean's cooler than Frank. I like Dean.
You ever see Guys and Dolls?
Yes, I have.
Who do you prefer?
What?
The guys or the dolls?
It depends. There's some nice dolls in that movie.
Yeah, there are. Some good dames, too.
Yeah, that's a good movie. I just like hearing Marlon Brando sing. That makes me laugh.
You see the pins on those dames? You see the getaway sticks on those dames?
It's like if De Niro did a musical. It's just like one of those things you're like, wait, they let him sing? They let Brando sing.
But it's awesome when it happens.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was great.
Eyes are the eyes of a woman in love.
Oh, wow. Just do that. I'm just going to go ahead and grab a nap.
Well, get back to our recording problem, because
You know what? I will tell you this, though. This weekend, I heard Candyman by Sammy Davis Jr. because I was listening to Casey Kasem's Countdown. Because I live in the past. That's all I do. I live in the past. I watch Perry Mason. I watch cooking shows. Jill was making fun of me because I was at her house the other day. I was watching Cutthroat Kitchen. And that is a show where they're like, it's like, hey, you guys got to make a tiramisu. However, you have to do it with a paintbrush and an otter. And it's like, what? That's
okay.
Yeah, and they're like, yay! And they try to do it, and then a guy comes in and has to taste it. It's off, and I'll tell you what, you have not lived until you've seen a culinary expert go, this tiramisu tastes like otter.
Was the otter fresh?
It may have been. I don't know, quite frankly. I'm not in
otter.
charge of picking it out.
Yeah.
But she was like, this. She looks at me, she goes, this show is ridiculous. And I'm like, yes, it is. But it just, to me, it's better than, because we either watch murder or cooking. You know?
Murder or cooking.
That's
a game show.
Dude, they should combine them. Yeah. I would love to see that.
Yeah.
Who is killing the great chefs of Europe? Who is killing the underrated hot chicks of Bowling Green High School? I found who did I find on Facebook, and I was like, whoa.
Woe good or woe bad?
No, whoa good. I forget who it was. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, by all means, if you remember the name, just blurt it right out.
No, I can't. See, that's the problem now because there's so many people listening to the show from then.
Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with saying, hey, I saw a girl we went to high school with, and I just found her on Facebook, and she's really attractive.
Yeah, but I also found a chick who looked like a truck. So, I mean, it's like, nobody wants me to say that, right?
I know.
It's like, Jesus Christ. Hey, you know what? Do me a favor. Throw a cannon on her face and let's ride her into battle. Oh, my God. Seriously, and again, I'm no prize. I mean, I'm terrible. I started out bad and just kind of went downhill. That's me. But, I mean, when you see somebody that they've taken that leap and you're like, holy God, what happened to you?
I disagree. I think you look better now than you did when you were in high school.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know, I had a lot of hair back then. I looked
good.
But
you were like a big dude.
Well, I have more than 4 shirts now. I can tell you that. That's good. Although you wouldn't know it by every picture. I'm in a fucking black T-shirt in every photo. But I have 10 black T-shirts. I'm that guy. I'm the guys from Velvet Rope. That's why there's a bunch of fucking
Big James and Chewy.
Yeah, I got black T-shirts in the closet on hangers. It's awful. Jill does she'll like do my laundry at her house, and I go, oh, you don't have to do that, honey. It's fine. I can take care of it. And then, but inevitably she scoops it up, and I go, all right, please remember these go in cold, and then these have to be hanging up. And she goes, honey, and she just pats me in the face, just goes, I love you, and she walks off.
I'm a chick, I know how to do
Yeah, well, she's 47 years old. She's been doing she's been done laundry for kids for her whole life.
Have you ever had to get grass stains out of your baseball pants? I don't think you have. I think Jill probably has had to do that a few times.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you change grass stains to blood stains and you change pants to sheets, certainly you go ahead and do that because
I thought you were going to say underwear. I was scared.
No, I don't wear any underwear.
All right, as long as you're not bleeding in your underwear, we're good.
No, dude, and I'm bleeding in a much. Never mind, I can't even get into it. I don't want to go into that.
Please don't.
No, why not? Don't you like biting stories? All right, so.
I don't mind a biting story as long as you're not one of the ones that's biting or getting bit, because then my mind pictures you getting bit or biting somebody, and I don't like it.
How many stories do I have about other people getting bitten or biting people? I mean, I'm sorry.
I just think you need to change the people's names or something.
I'm a first-person guy.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I don't tell any stories about other biting that I see in progress. I mean, if I had a cool-ass story about a guy biting another guy at a bus stop, I would tell that fucking story. I got kind of a biting story.
Like witty?
What am I, Oscar Wilde?
Okay.
What do I ask her? Overbite? No, well, I'll go into it. I'll tell you in a second. But let's talk about our technology really quickly because we came here and so I knew I was coming and I told David, I'm like, dude, we're coming to town. We're going to record. I'm going to be. Are you available? And he's like, yeah, Monday or Tuesday. And I said, well, dude, Monday works for me. And he goes, good, because I just found out I can't do fucking Tuesday.
Yeah,
like, all right.
I got the honey-do list, man.
You got stuff to do tomorrow? You don't get that list. Come on.
I don't. I don't get a honey-do list, but I do have to drive kids to doctor's appointments and orthodontist appointments and nonsense.
And now we're back to biting.
Yeah, see? But I was under the impression that it's easier for you to put together the show when you do it through your program, your Audacity program. And I was of the mind, yeah, let's do that because, I'm Flintstone recording you, so, I mean, let's move into the 21st century.
Yeah,
so
we did the discs.
Yeah.
And here's the way it's worked, as I've said before. We record with me and David, then we send the pieces of the puzzle to Lily, and she assembles it and she puts together a show. Well, now, Lily is completely unavailable this week because of commitments to the Hollywood Burlesque Festival. She is deep undercover and deep underground, putting together feathers and fans and trophies and hiring judges and getting dude, the world she runs in is just insane to me. Because again, I don't have any touchstone for what she does, and she'll be like, "Hey, I met Miss March from 1966 Playboy. She's going to be a judge in our thing." And I'm like, "I don't know where you would meet that person. I don't know." And I even said to her, she said,
candle store?
Yeah, she's like, Miss March 1966 from Playboy. And I said, oh, so it was one of these? And I stood up and did the pose where it's like literally
cover your crotch.
Yeah, there's no V'ger at all. It's like literally just
there's no V'ger.
No, it's just like fucking half a nipple in shadow. You know what I mean? And
I
it's
gotta be honest with you. I actually like that era of the centerfolds.
I don't think so.
No, I do.
Well, I do. I like it because it's still tasteful and nudity. But I mean,
the style of photography is way better. The poses were way better.
Nah, I want ankles in different area codes. Fuck that. That's what I'm going for. No, I'm a fan.
I'm not.
Yeah, I want the splits. I want a trapeze. I want fucking James Caan. I want the whole nine. I want everything.
Yeah, we look at things. I think we look at things in a couple different.
Well, you're looking at it in a fucking Nagel sort of way. You're like, ooh.
I just think that the female form looks great in certain positions, and none of those require ankles to being behind her head.
You say, did you say none of those or one of those?
Maybe one.
All right, good. You got to go back on that.
All right.
I'm a fan of all of it. I know. I like tasteful nudity as much as the next guy, but at the same time, I wouldn't mind seeing your liver. I mean, seriously, I'm okay with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Let's go ahead and put a fucking let's go spelunking. Let's climb in there, man. Let's take a look. I mean, I am more than happy to have you looking demure behind a fucking shade and just seeing your silhouetted outline.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Yeah, but at the same time, go ahead and give me a recliner in your baby house, and I'm fine. I'll just climb inside and hang out for a while. I'll just bring an umbrella. Boom, I'm in. It's fantastic. Because I'll tell you what, if I climb in there, you're gonna need a fucking umbrella. Because that's how I do it. I bring the moisture. I don't even bring the moisture. I apologize. I show up and the moisture shows up. That's who I am. I'm the moisture guy.
You're Moisture Mike.
That's me. Moisture Michael. Do me a favor. Give me the credit.
No,
Moisture Michael.
I like Moisture Mikey.
No Mikey. No. My mom will show up and punch you in the head.
Come on.
No, that was my mom drawing the line. Draw the loop. And it's funny, there are a few people who actually call me Mikey. Who was it who just started? There was another dude just now who started calling me Mikey. And it's that thing where it's now, look, I'm 50. Yeah. And so I kind of whatever. I mean, because it's to take it out of somebody is just like whatever.
I only think it's funny when it's like in Swingers when he said, "Mikey, make his head bleed." I made his head bleed.
Oh yeah.
Then it's funny to me. That's funny.
No, but that's a total fucking terrible pussy name. I mean, I can't even. Yes.
Nah, Mikey's a guy you call if you're in a fight and you need somebody to help you.
No, Mikey's a guy you call Mikey because he's a dick. I'm not a fan.
Well, that's how I am with Dave. I never liked being called Dave.
Really?
I just never did. I always preferred my full name. But
well, David. Oh, I thought you were going Davey. That's why I'm like, because we're talking Mikey.
I don't like Davey either. I guess Davey and Mikey. Those guys sound like little assholes.
Yeah, those are idiots. They're gonna open a cookie store.
Davey
go bankrupt in 8 months. Hate them.
Oh crap!
Right? That party's over at that point. If the bell rings, you open up and there's Davey and Mikey and they're matching outfits. This thing is finished.
You can't be 50 and be called Davey.
Fuck that. Those guys are just asking for a punch. and you know what? You hit them both the same time, Three Stooges style. Like you throw one right hook, you knock them both out, same fucking time. Clunk clunk.
Mikey, Davey, out.
Out. See you later. Drag them into the fucking closet. They'll wake up later. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. I don't like a Davey. I don't like a Mikey. I guess you can go with a Bobby if you must.
Well, I mean, it's not that I have a problem with Dave. I mean, Dave Letterman, that's a cool guy, right?
Yeah.
But I always pictured a guy named Dave he knows how to fix your car, right? He can help you paint your garage. We have a guy that comes in. He's a handyman. He's actually the guy that built these lifts for my studio.
Yeah.
He's Dave.
Okay.
I'm not Dave.
No.
I can't do that.
You know what's funny? You ever see that Adventure Time with Dave?
Adventure? Which one?
With Davey. It's Adventure Time where Finn is like, you know what? I'm tired of this. And he doesn't want to be an adventurer anymore. So he invents a guy named Davey, and it's him with a mustache.
Is that recent?
Yeah. No, I think it's 2 years ago.
Right,
but then he's like, I'm Davey. And then he gets a job, and he's like helping sweep up a candle store and bullshit. And then later on, fucking, who's the dog?
Finn?
No, Finn's the dude. Jake. Yeah. Jake's trying to find him. He's like, come on, man, let's go adventuring. And he's like, I'm not Finn. I'm Davey. And it kept reminding me of, I'm not Alice, I'm Kay from the Brady Bunch when they wanted to do this shit. And Kay's like, I'm not Alice, I'm Kay.
Not Alice.
Yeah, I'm not Finn, I'm Davey. He wanted to stop adventuring, so he wanted to sit in a lawn chair. He had a regular job, and he would sweep the floor. And then he would come home and he had a mustache, and he started to lose himself, actually. And then he had to, at the end, of course, they have to save him from being Davey. So that's what I think of when I think of Davey.
We stopped watching Cartoon Network. It's kind of weird. Like Val and I would watch Adventure Time all the time. I thought it's the greatest show. And then that show Clarence came, and that show was really good too. We just all the time watched it. Then one night I made the mistake of letting him watch Adult Swim and watching Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Yes.
And now, since he's been watching Aqua Teen Hunger Force, he has not gone back to watch his old cartoons. It's like we've crossed some sort of threshold.
Really?
He's like, it wouldn't entertain him anymore.
Well, because it's very difficult to
regular
go back.
Show is not funny anymore when you've seen the Moonanites or the is it the Plutonian guys? The Plutonians from Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Right.
Is that what they're called? You know the Moonanites?
I know the Moonanites.
Right, well, there's the other two aliens.
Never saw them. Not that I know of.
The guy that does Brack's voice,
yes,
Andy Merrill, I guess his name is. He does one of the space guys. I think they're Plutonians, and it's basically Brack with a German accent. Okay. And it is the funniest damn thing I've ever heard. I haven't seen that. It's amazing.
I've seen all the Moonlight ones, and those are the greatest. When they first showed up, I was like, dude, these are hilarious. I would watch them for hours. They are so fucking funny.
And then after that comes Squidbillies. Now, Squidbillies has been on, I guess, for 7 or some years. I've never paid attention to it, and I I watched it with him, and it just happened to be one of those episodes that was filled with violence and guys getting their heads sawed off and blood. And it's like, we're done. We're done with regular cartoons. We're never going back.
Well, you and I found Aqua Teen Hunger Force together because it was one night again. It was Sunday. We were flipping channels, and because we watched C-Lab 2021, and we were just like,
that's
"What
right.
the fuck is happening in the show?" It was just so weird.
A meatwad?
Yeah, because we liked Space Ghost, so
Yeah.
we were watching Space Ghost, and then C-Lab 2021 came on, and we're just like, "What the fuck?" And then afterwards, Aqua Teen came on, and again, just the conceit that it's a meatball, a shake, and fries, but they're a superhero team. But in the credits, they're a total superhero team, and then they never do anything heroic.
I think it's implied that they're retired. I think
Really?
They said, remember back, I think one episode, remember when we used to solve crimes or whatever, they made a reference to their past because they don't do anything.
They never do it.
No.
And that to me is the funniest fucking thing. They just live in a house in fucking New Jersey and they do nothing.
Yeah.
And then the Moonerites showed up. They eat the Brood Witch. Dude, the Brood Witch is fucking hysterical. The Brood Witch. And Shake keeps eating it. He won't stop. And then he goes to the desert.
He
and
won't
there's
eat the candy pepper.
No.
The what do you call it? What are those, cherry tomatoes? There's something.
sun-dried tomatoes.
Whatever it was.
It was sun-dried
He
tomatoes.
wouldn't eat the last of it. So
Yeah.
he never got taken away to the Brood Witch.
No, and they were so pissed that he wouldn't eat them.
Yeah.
But then when he go to that little desert and those little stick figure dudes with the axes.
They were just talking to each other.
And then he had meat, and then he gave Meatwad to him, and he goes, say hello to Mr. Sticks. That's what he said. I can't even do the voice, but it was like fucking hilarious. God, fucking Shake's an asshole. So Lily can't do the show this week. I don't even know how we fucking spun off into that.
Don't ask me.
But because we're talking about Mikey's and Davies.
Yeah, Mikey's and Davies suck.
No, not a fan. I just, although I now I think that you have to draw us as Mikey and Davey.
Mikey
right?
and
Don't
Davey?
you?
Too bad you couldn't be Mickey. I could do another monkey's drawing.
Oh God, I don't know. I don't know if anybody even knew what that was. They're just like,
so
is
great.
that a lion and a lobster flipper? What the fuck's going on in this picture?
Yeah, it's just seeing it by itself is just great.
So I don't know anything about but there's Mikey and Davey, and I don't care for either of those names. Yeah. And again, like you can get away with a Bobby, but even a Stevie is that's a weird thing. Although that's gonna be my fourth son, my fourth
Stevie?
baby. Yeah, because I'm having Bomb Pop and Chinese Rick when Jill and I have kids, and then we're having the twins, Gretchen and Ginger.
By all means, have more kids when you're in your late 40s.
That's what we're doing. We're having Bomb Pop and Chinese Rick. Well, they're coming from China. They're China babies.
All right, they're going to be old enough, right?
Bomb Pop and Chinese Rick. Yeah, we don't.
My two.
Exactly. And then she's having twins named Gretchen and Ginger. We're having those. And then the next kid is Little Stevie Tomatoes. And because we went to a bar in a
Little
restaurant.
Stevie Tomatoes?
Yeah, there was a restaurant in Florida called Little Stevie. It was called Stevie Tomatoes. And I was like, fuck that. That's our son, Little Stevie Tomatoes. So we're going to have Bomb Pop, Chinese Rick, Gretchen, Ginger, and Little Stevie Tomatoes.
Well, my cousin, Matt, and his wife, Kristen, they just had a baby like 2 days ago.
Okay.
And
Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
They've been married for like 9 months and 2 days. Like really,
They've been going. They're like Kristen and I. They've been dating each other since high school.
Okay.
So they've only.
Who am I thinking of? I apologize to interrupt, but who am I thinking of? Who didn't someone just get married? A cousin or somebody?
Oh, his older brother, my godson.
That's what it was.
Michael.
Okay.
But Matt and his wife had a baby boy, and I was gonna have Val like give all a bunch of name suggestions because they were really funny, and
That's a solid idea.
They would have gotten a kick out of it. But my new little baby cousin's name is Bane. And I'm like, that is the coolest name I've ever heard for a boy.
That's fucking awesome.
And part of me goes, is that like does that name have some sort of history thing to it, like an ancient culture, the Gaelics or the Vikings? Because part of me goes, I don't think you can get away with naming your kid Bane from the Batman villain.
I mean, you can. I
don't see the wife going, yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I like it. He needs to wear a mask and he's going to break Batman's back. Is that okay?
But Bane,
Yeah.
that is like I wrote on his Facebook page. I go, dude, there's no better story you could ever start to tell that starts like, hey, dude, remember this one time when me and my cousin Bane? I mean, whatever you say after that is just going to be awesome.
Exactly. Oh my God, dude, that's fucking great. I can't believe she was on board with that.
If it's for the superhero, well, it's got to be.
Right. There's nothing else. Well, because again, the only time I've ever heard it used is in the bane of my existence.
Yeah.
I mean, it's as a terrible
Bane.
You're essentially a creature of dread. So,
but that's a hard name to live up to, though. You got to be a badass.
How do you feel about creature of dread? That's not a bad name either.
Creature of dread.
Have you had? It's a bit long.
Well, I'm glad. I was worried there because if Kristen and I ever have another kid, I want to name it Juggernaut.
All right. Well, that's not bad.
Yeah. So I mean, that would be a couple of cool cousins to hang out with, Juggernaut and Bane.
Boy, that's gonna look good on a McDonald's name tag.
Yeah.
Juggernaut and Bane.
Bane.
Those cats are working the register. I got to pass on my fillet of fish. I walk in, there's Juggernaut and Bane. I'm fucking bail. That's a fun McDonald's, but not a McDonald's I want to fucking eat at. Who knows what's going to turn up there? Dude, that's awesome. Fucking Bane. That's gorgeous.
That's great.
Well, all right. Yeah, well, I guess that's out then. I mean, if I have a fifth kid, well, I have five. I already have five.
What was it? Stevie Tomatoes?
Little Stevie Tomatoes is number 5. There's the twins, Gretchen and Ginger, and then of course there's Bomb Pop and Chinese Rick, who have already they were grandfathered in.
Yeah.
They were, and thankfully Jill's on board with those names. She loves those names. She's like, yes, of course we have to have a Bomb Pop and a Chinese Rick.
I think it's cooler if you actually biologically have a baby and call it Chinese Rick.
Right?
Why does Chinese Rick have to be Chinese?
Why? Because I have no bullets in the gun. That's why.
Oh.
I don't think I'm. I
Yeah,
got
we're
anything left.
49.
Yeah, I'm old, man. I mean, I'm everything I'm shooting has got a fucking walker. I got sperm cells with a cane. That's got to be painful for Jill, honestly. You take one of those in the chest and you're like, ah, Christ. Yeah. So I just I don't want to be a Davey. I don't want to be. I like what about Baney? How about that? Juggernauty. Can we make those guys that?
Naughty.
Ooh, Juggernauty. Actually, I met Miss March 1966. It's Juggernauty Jones. Yeah. But yeah, that fucking weird pose where they got their knees crossed and their hands in front of their crotch. And
there's some nice, the classic laying on their stomachs in front of the fire.
Well, sure.
I mean, that's just 60s era pinup photography is genius.
You know what I like, and I'll tell you this. And I like this photograph. I like that laying on the stomach, kind of feet up, you know. But I like it from the front. So it's like their face is in the foreground, and you see the body all the way going toward the back.
Yeah, I understand.
I got one of those of Jill on my phone. Oh, dude, that's a sharp ass photo. Well, I'm not showing it to you. I'm just telling you I have it. You don't have to know. All right, fine.
I do know now. You just told me.
Okay. Well, I told everybody. I got news for you. But it's a goddamn. Well, I'll tell you what. Try driving, and then that photo comes in on a text, and you're just like, what the fuck? And you just, I literally just drive through 2 fucking sawhorses and crash into a pedestrian. Dude, you know how many dead hobos are in Venice because of text Jill sent me? Oh my God. I was driving once delivering food and a photo came in, and it's just when you get a text with a photo, you just get that little baby thing up at the top. You know, it doesn't give you the full screen.
Yeah.
And all I saw was well, I'm not going to say, but I saw it.
No,
I was like,
you're going to say.
No, I can't. And then I saw it, and I was like, and I've pulled over many times just from text and went, what the hell? And I do that, and then try steering with one hand, holding the phone in the other, and jerking off by grinding into the steering wheel. That's really rough. But you're just looking and driving and like, because hey, look, I got a business. I got food to deliver. I got to get it there hot. But I also got to run off a batch of this goddamn photo that just came in.
No, yeah, nobody wants their delivery guy with a boner.
No, exactly. Well, I got news for you. Talk to the woman in the headquarters there who's sending me the fucking photos that's changing the game. Because you see that little thing at the top and you're like, what? And then you make it bigger and you're like, whoa.
Aren't you afraid that sometimes those things end up where they're not supposed to be just because of the technology of just
I'll tell you
putting stuff in the internet once it goes out, man, it's out.
I wasn't worried about technology until today, when even you couldn't conquer our problems that we had.
Well, don't make it sound. I'm not I am. You said, well, you're the tech guy. I go, I'm not the tech guy.
I got news for you. Out of the 2 of us, you're the fucking tech guy.
All right, I am the tech guy.
Yeah, in this room, you're the fucking tech guy.
Dumb and Dumber.
Unless there's a mouse somewhere down here who's got fucking headphones on.
There might be.
They were all killed in the flood.
Yeah.
Well, but the good news is you saved 2 of them. Threw them on an ark. You built a mouse ark when there was a flood. Dude, that sounds fun.
2 of every rodent.
Dude, we should. Well, what
Mouse
is
ark?
Mouse ark. Let's make a podcast called Mouse Ark. I think it's great. Because it works all in like 3 different ways. It's like mice on an ark, story arc about mice. Dude, I like it.
All right.
What does Val have? He's got a gecko or some bullshit?
He's got a leopard gecko.
What does that mean?
It's a gecko with like little leopard
Geckos, literally geckos don't.
I know you don't like geckos. I don't.
Not now. Certainly not recently.
Yeah, so I don't want to. Yeah.
Oh, I got to deal with that. I'll. By the way, I'll update everybody on the car thing.
Awesome.
Stick around.
Yeah.
So Lily couldn't put the show together this week, so we're doing it here, and so we had to do technology. And I called David ahead, and I'm like, dude, we've got to go ahead and record. And he's like, would you be more comfortable recording in your computer? And I'll be honest with you, no.
Why didn't you tell me no?
Well, because I don't want to. Because I'm a fucking idiot. That's why. Because I can't. Well, I'm not an idiot. Hold on. I have to choose my words wisely.
You don't.
Yes, I do. No, I have 4 agreements.
And one of them is to be meticulous in your wording. No, it matters. I'm trying to be a person, dude.
You have to understand, once you're in the presence of a member of the UN of evil, none of that shit matters.
See, my guru is not going to like that.
Who's your guru?
I'm drinking water. Don't make me laugh.
You have a guru?
I do. I hired a dude.
Oh, I was going to say.
No, I read a book, man. I mean, it's just...
Don't read. Don't read.
No, bullshit, dude. I got to read. I'm a fucking mess.
Print is dead.
No, I got it. Yeah, actually, that's my guru, Egon Spengler. But you know this. I've talked about it on here.
Yes,
I'm trying to grab the reins a little bit, and you know too, because you got a Melfi. You do your thing.
Yeah.
You know, so you eventually come to the realization that, like, hey, you know what? I should grab a shovel and start digging because I've been piling dirt on myself for fucking 47 years.
Yeah, but that's fun though.
What, the piling dirt?
We're hearing somebody else's dirt.
Well, it got me 8 years of a show,
Yeah, there
certainly.
you go,
Yeah, and don't think I didn't consider that. I actually talked to Shannon about it. I go, dude, what's going to happen when I don't punch anybody in a grocery store anymore? I mean, I'm not going to have anything to talk about. I'm just like, literally, if I show up
and it's just my funny lady,
you just hear like this weird twinkling, and it's just like, I'm happy.
Then this is just one of those,
fuck, nobody wants to hear that. And then I got right, and then I got to switch to a Christian podcast, right? And start doing that.
Brother Mike.
Oh, God, a lot of whispering and nonsense. Yeah, I don't want that fucking stuff. I don't believe in ghosts. But still, you know, but again, but the way I always say it and the phrase I always use is I can get mad at a sink. And I tell Jill that too, because she has this thing where, like, as we've talked about, she doesn't like anger or rage or violence or anything.
Yeah, I don't get that.
And so she doesn't, but it causes like a thing in her where she gets kind of a chemical like, and she really kind of.
I think that's called fear. Most people have that.
Yes, maybe. Yeah. I wouldn't know about that.
That's what I'm saying.
But I'll get angry for 5 seconds. All right, I'll tell you this. We went to the post office last week. By the way, if you've ordered shirts, they've all been sent. And let me go ahead and say this really quick. One of you, a guy named Alessandro, he ordered a large. I got nothing in large, man. I got even old shirts, new shirts. I have no men's larges are left. They're gone.
From the official, was it the Yurt Dirt?
He ordered a Yurt Dirt shirt, but he also said if you got anything from any other city, that'd be fine.
So you're out of large.
I got mediums. I got a small Panda Boy, I think. I've got a Red Boy as well. Whatever. I got a Denver shirt. Who cares? Just ask me and I'll tell you. But I had to send him. So Alessandro, when you open your package, you have a large Atlanta tour shirt. So
was that the Braves one?
No, it was the Georgia on the cover,
Georgia.
And on the back it's got Schmidt 40.
Yeah.
God, we made, dude. By the way, let's talk about this for just a sec. We made some fucking great shirts back when anybody cared.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
If you want to see any of them, you just go to Mike's house because they're all over.
Oh my God. I've actually papered the walls with them. But also, you can go if you go back in my Facebook photos. I mean, back when, again, like I said, when people cared, we would announce a new shirt, and everybody's like, Jesus, these are fucking great.
Yeah.
And then of course nobody would buy them, but still
they're great,
dude. Because again, I had a great idea. When I would do a tour stop, I would do 25 exclusive shirts for that tour stop, and then they'd be gone. We would sell those.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because people would buy them there, and then people would buy them after the case. But then we started to go and buy 200 shirts. We're like, yeah, this is gonna be awesome, and then nobody at all.
Yeah.
And which is fine. Oh, but I got to say this really quick. Let me do this really fast. Chris Federovich and his wife Maggie came to the show in Pittsburgh, and I did not mention them last week, and I felt terrible about it because I started name checking a bunch of people, and then I talked about everybody who went out to eat afterwards.
And you forget
Chris and Maggie. Yeah. I totally did not mention them, and afterwards, and it was funny. The show was in the can, and I was uploading it, and I swear to God, this is how it worked because I recorded it. And again, last week's show was a bit of a haul. I mean, it was like half with Lily, half with me, and then I was recording at 2 in the fucking morning, and I had to upload it and do all this bullshit because I was flying the next day, whatever. And I'm not kidding. As you go to Libsyn and you have to post the episode, and then it hits. You had publish. You have to upload it to Libsyn, and then you have to hit publish. And I'm not kidding. I uploaded it. It took like fucking 22 minutes because it was such a long episode. And then I went to publish, and I literally went click, and I clicked on publish, and I was like, yeah. Fuck, Chris and Maggie. Because I knew then it just dawned on me out of the blue that I did not mention them. So the reason I mentioned Chris is because he's been a fan from day fucking one, and then when he came out to go eat, and he was really cool. I sat with him and his wife, and in the crowd, I had actually said something because I usually apologize to the women who come to the show. Because I know
before the show or after?
During.
All right.
Because it's the guys who like me, and then they bring their wives to their dates along, and then they're just going, I don't get this at all. Like, this guy is a fucking nightmare. And that's a lie. I mean, they don't really, some of them are on board. Like Crystal, who came to the show, they're listeners, and they bring their husbands. Whatever. But the point is, I didn't talk about Chris and Maggie, so I said, I actually went, He said he was Chris, and I go, who are you with? And he goes, Maggie. And I go, Maggie, I apologize that you're at the show. She goes, I love you. I'm glad I'm here. And I was like, no way. I mean, who likes me? Nobody. That doesn't make any sense at all. So I wanted to make sure I name checked them and thanked them for coming because they were super cool, and they came out afterwards, and then we ate, and then she ordered gnocchi tots. Which,
like little kids?
No, that was a stripper, gnocchi tots. She came down.
I thought those were these twin toddlers.
Good little Italian Goomba kids.
Hey,
how you doing?
check this out.
So terrible. Fucking you guys. I said the gnocchi tots. That's actually a pretty funny cartoon, wouldn't it be?
Hey, Joey, let's steal some cane.
Hey, how you doing? Back get the base. Hey, who's in the trunk of my tricycle? Go. Fuck you, gnocchi tots. They wouldn't even talk, dude. Let's make the gnocchi tots. Let's make it short.
Yeah.
It's just a couple of dudes that go.
Oh.
Hey.
Getting kicked out of daycare and shit. Hey.
What, dude? That's it? All right. But the gnocchi, I'll tell you what, they sounded delicious. And when we sat down to order food, and John, by the way, John from Toronto, like fucking picked up the check and it was like, I don't even know why you're doing that. There's fucking 15 people in here, but good for you. And John's seen me 7 times, dude. He came from fucking Toronto. He drove to Pittsburgh from Toronto.
Wow.
Yeah, no kidding. And just awesome, just a cool guy. So, but he picked it up. So when the menu came, I wasn't sure what I was going to eat, and Jill and I weren't really that hungry. And I've been up all day, and fucking she was out. So, but the menu came, and I looked at it, and there was gnocchi tots, and it totally, like I was like, you know what? That kind of sounds like a thing I would want.
Yeah.
And luckily, Maggie Fedorovich had ordered them already before I even saw the menu. She's like, I got gnocchi tots coming. I'm like, yes, you do. Oh! So then they came, and I will tell you this: you're familiar with a gnocchi, right?
Yes, I am.
Now I thought it was gnocchi, but I was corrected at the table that it's gnocchi.
Yeah.
And I here's how I work things: I always believe people who aren't me. So I'm like, all right, if you say that's what it is, then I believe you because I don't have an I in my last name. Yeah. Actually, I do.
You do.
I don't have 2 I exactly.
Yeah.
So
Schmitty?
Yeah. Now see, who knows how it's pronounced?
Who?
Mikey.
Mikey does.
Mikey does, but Mike does not. So, so thank God for a windsock. You would be so wet right now. You'd just be so covered.
Gnocchi tots. Spitters.
The gnocchi tots come to the table, and they're deep fried gnocchi is what they are. Mm-hmm. But it just tasted like fucking pretzels. Like I thought it had chew.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It had chew like a pretzel, but also it just had, because gnocchi, is essentially a creature of its seasoning and its sauce. Because all it is just little fucking.
As are you.
Certainly, as are we all.
I'm a creature of sauce.
Who did we just have? We had Creature of Sauce, and that was the other one. Who did we just? A Creature of Dread. We've invented a few creatures on this show.
And Bane.
So the gnocchi tots come and I would tell you this. Fuck this place, and I don't want to give their name.
Wow.
I mean, well, they were nice, but also
you made a hard turn on the gnocchi tots.
Well, the gnocchi tots were okay, but here was the thing: they were supposed to come with a spicy marinara.
Yeah.
By the way, that's 2 stripper names, right?
Spicy
marinara and gnocchi tots. Dude, how do you not? I fucking give extra. If I get, welcome to Deja Vu Showgirls. On the main stage, gnocchi tots. On the side stage, spicy marinara. Spicy marinara. Spicy marinara. Gnocchi tots. So she ordered this. And it came, and we were biting it, and it didn't come with a spicy marinara.
We were biting it.
Totally biting it. All of us were.
I think that's called eating.
No, sir.
All right.
We did the biting first. You got to decide, if you're eating, you're swallowing. Biting is just biting.
All right. We're still talking about food, right?
I don't know.
All right.
Fill in the blanks however you want to do it. You know this show.
I don't want to.
Why? I don't understand you. You're so weird with that nonsense. Cover your head in a blanket and take a selfie. Boo-hoo, I don't want to hear about sex. Shut up.
I never said I don't want to hear about sex.
You always do. You did me wrong by the time last fucking time I was here, by the way.
Oh.
You did me totally wrong. Because I'll tell you what, the dildo, which was in the fucking yard.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I took a picture of it. Because I was going to put it up on the page and go, this is the dildo.
Yes.
And then, sure enough, I take the picture. I'm in the car. Literally, by the time I get home, there's a quiz up with 9 different pictures, including one of the dildo from a different angle, so it doesn't look like a fucking cock.
Oh. Well, see, that's the part of the joke. that you would see a dildo shape out of what is just a hand trowel.
Well, I understood the joke, but my
Yes.
point is, if you would have put up the photo that I took,
that you took.
you would totally see that it looks like a cock. Instead, you got up close, so it looks like a garden spade, so I look like a fucking idiot.
No. I think what we're dealing with is the fact that I didn't think you really were going to put the photo up
Of course I was. Why would I take a photo of a dildo? I wasn't going to post it.
because our turnaround times are different.
Well, yeah, because you're on Facebook immediately, and I'm in the car.
Well, I usually have it on when I'm working, so it's like if I have an idea, I think 10 minutes, boop, boop, it's up.
Well, that's it. Yeah, because you put up a photo last night,
Yeah, I
and
just
you wrote
did
me,
it.
and you're like,
Yeah.
"Hey, dude, should I post this photo?" Yes, done. You did it. I was asleep. I mean, I had no fucking clue.
Yeah, so I mean, sometimes I just can't wait.
Well, I liked the quiz. Well, certainly I agree, but it's just because then I wanted to put
yeah.
up the willow because now
Well, it works good. You can put it up now and go, hey, wait, this is what I saw, and everybody go, oh yeah, except me because I knew what it was to begin with, so I'm biased.
yeah, but
Because it's hard for me to make that transition from I knew that was my 2-year-old daughter's toy hand trowel that's pink plastic. I knew it was.
Yeah.
So it took really hard. It was hard for me to look at that and go, oh yeah, you're right. It looks like a sex toy.
Well, I'll tell you this. I showed it to Lily Von Stoop, who is the producer of the show and is very busy right now with the Hollywood Burlesque Festival.
She didn't see it at all.
And she just went, oh my God, yeah, I totally see a sex toy.
Of
I'm like,
course
yes, you
she
do.
did.
Yeah. But I mean, let's be honest. I mean, that's, Lily's, you can show her a corn cob and she's
All
like,
right.
whoa, look at that.
That's if I showed that to my neighbor, they go, hey, my kid has that same hand trowel. See, it's all about environment.
Well, again, if you look at the spade part, you go, hey, check that out. But if you look at the handle with the spade in the background, you know what? If you have, let's put it this way. If you have the handle in the foreground and the spade in the background, not unlike the photo I have of Jill in my phone, then you're like, it's a sex toy.
Yeah.
And you can determine which one I'm talking about right now, if you'd like to.
We know.
Gnocchi tots.
Oh,
Chewy like pretzels. And then so they're supposed to come with a spicy marinara, and then they also had a bacon ranch.
bacon ranch sauce.
A bacon ranch dip.
Oh,
And so, what'd you think? I meant an entire bacon ranch? If you purchase the
Yes.
tots, you get a bacon ranch?
like a big ranch with horses and pigs.
Well, I got to tell you, that seems prohibitive, cost prohibitive.
Yeah.
You get an appetizer and then you get a full-on place to live, a domicile.
Then you got a lot of work to do in the morning.
Yeah, you do. Fuck that. I don't want to bail hay. I just want to have a snack.
Man, this bacon ranch is big.
I shouldn't have ordered this. Honestly, I should have gone with the chicken tenders because that did not. Oh wait, that actually came with condos. Never mind. I got to maintain those and clean them from the bottom up.
Oh,
By the way, you know I like to clean from the bottom up? Spicy marinara. So Maggie's like, hey, the waitress comes over and look, there's a table of 13, 15, whatever. And so I understand the waitress is kind of like, and it was like, fuck you, we're going to tip.
yeah.
But then she brought over the gnocchi tots and there's no sauce. And it's like, you got to have sauce for the tots. And so Maggie said, hey, do you, this is supposed to come with spicy marinara. And she goes, oh, no, I don't think that's, and we went, no, it says it right on the menu, comes with spicy marinara. She says, oh, well, all right, well, I'll see what they have.
See what they have.
Yeah, you're a pizza place. You've got spicy marinara. You better have it on fucking tap. So she comes back and she doesn't bring us a ramekin of the spicy, a ramekin.
What's a ramekin?
You, come on. You're Mr. Mom. You're making, I bet you used a ramekin yesterday.
I got spoons.
Yeah, it's like a bowl.
I have bowls.
Okay, so you got a ramekin.
So she brought a bowl.
It's a mini. You know what? You ever get a side of like ranch sauce or anything in that little fucking
Very
thing? Where
small
remember,
bowl.
You ever get salad dressing on the side?
No, because I'm not a food diva.
Okay,
Like you.
If you ever see anybody in your family get salad dressing on the side or something like
Nobody
ketchup
in
on the
my
side?
family eats a salad.
Nobody gets this. All right, get
We're
a side
Mexicans,
of ketchup.
people.
A side of ketchup, anything small.
All right. A small bowl
It's
is
not
a-
plastic. If
is
you
a-
if you ever go out of your fucking house and you
Yeah.
eat in a restaurant for once,
Yeah.
you know when you bring you if you're like, hey, give me a side of garlic or whatever the fuck you do,
I don't do, yeah.
jalapenos. Where do you go? What do you want?
Italian food.
Okay, so if you were there and you were like, hey, can you bring me like a butter for the bread or whatever, and it's in a
A small bowl.
yeah, that's a ramekin.
All right.
Okay, Jesus Christ.
Wow.
By the way, if Matt does not name his next baby
Ramekin?
Bane and Ramekin,
Yeah.
and again that McDonald's line of Bane, Ramekin, and Juggernaut right at the front.
Yeah.
Baney,
Beanie.
Ramekin-y, Juggernauty. So she didn't even she brings the spicy marinara, dude. And you could just see that she was pissed. She brought it in like one of those big ass styrofoam cups.
Yeah.
That you would get it's a to-go
Like a to-go,
container.
like a little plastic
And she kind
container.
of like plops it on the table. She goes, there you go. And I mean, there's only like fucking 8 gnocchi tots in the whole fucking basket.
Yeah.
And she brought us a goddamn trough of quote unquote spicy marinara.
What a whore.
And then, no fucking kidding, right? And then we dip. We fucking dip into the thing. And we also got some bacon ranch on the side. We brought that. But we dip into the spicy. Dude, you got to look. I'm not a sauce-based guy, like you know. But if you're offering sauces, I'm getting them all for the table because who knows, man? Who knows who's going to jump on board a sauce? Surf that sauce, motherfucker. So we dip into the fucking, into this spicy marinara. Dude, tell me. All right, Italian food.
Yes.
You get a side of red sauce.
Do I get a side? No. If I got one, all right.
They bring you a side of red
Like
sauce
when
for
you
your
order
food.
a fried calamari, there's a little
Yes.
thing. All right, yeah. The
Okay.
Ramadan or whatever you call it.
Ramekin.
Yes.
Of marinara.
Yes.
Not sometimes the cocktail sauce, which I like with the calamari more than the marinara.
Yeah.
But say they bring you the marinara sauce.
All right.
Okay. Describe that marinara sauce to me.
It's red,
Okay.
and it's a sauce.
Is there a temperature?
It's supposed to be hot.
You're fucking right. It's supposed to be hot. She brings us cold marinara sauce to dip these fucking gnocchi tots in. Are you fucking kidding me? You talk about losing your food heart on immediately. You dip a tot in a fucking cold marinara, forget about it. You're not going to get it up the rest of the night. I can't get it up for these tots. They're dipping in fucking cold marinara sauce.
That blows.
And all of us looked around and was just like, and again, it was that unspoken thing of like, you're a fucking skank. Why are you bringing me cold marinara sauce? Nobody, I don't care. Because all they did is she went to the pizza dude and she's like, yeah, these fucking idiots. And he got the ladle out and boom, right into a fucking styrofoam
Well, that should
deal.
be hot.
No, not if you're making pizza.
Oh, that's right. If you're making.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So she brought us fucking pizza sauce in a goddamn styrofoam container. You know what? She might as well have just had like a sign that said "Go home, dicks." I mean, because like, why are you bringing me this garbage? If you got a fucking spicy, and again, it wasn't spicy. It was just a red sauce, and it was the pizza sauce. It just pissed me off, man. And you know what? Maggie's a better person than me because she was just like, "Well, it's okay." And you know me, I wanted to take a fucking flamethrower to the place.
Yeah, that's uncalled for.
Yeah, you can't do that. You got a party of 13 ordering food here and drinks.
Yeah.
Do them right. Because you know what? You got 4 other people in there watching Sports Center. Are you making any money off those motherfuckers? No, you're not. Granted, we wandered in at fucking 10 o'clock, 10:15, but you don't close till midnight. You still got an hour and 45 minutes to try to milk us for cash, so why don't you go ahead and refill our fucking drinks? And I know I sound like Mr. Pink at this point, but fuck that, man. You got a job. Do it.
Maybe she's too busy.
You know what? The words too busy should never be in a waitress's fucking vocabulary. You don't know what you are talking about. Waitressing is a hard job.
This is a hard job.
It is the number one source of income for the non-college educated women in this country. Fuck all that. All right. So, I don't know. How do we spin off into Chris and Maggie? What were we talking about before that?
I think the whole point was that we were initially trying to tell everybody why we didn't think we could record today.
Well, we wanted
Because
to
we
record.
ran into some problems. And Lily's going to kill me. And our buddy Eric's going to kill me. Because I reached out to both of them to make sure that I knew what I was doing. Because, first of all, I was under the impression that it's easier for you to put the show together when it's on your computer. So I was thinking, all right, let's just get rid of the ancient digital recorder that I've been using and let's use your computer. Well, Mike's usually used to recording one mic record, which means he just plugs his mic into the computer and goes. So I'm like, all right, I have a mixing board. We need 2 mics. So I'll use what I thought was going to work. And you tech heads probably are laughing at us right now, but here's what I did.
I hope so. It's a comedy show.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're going to laugh at this. I had a USB interface. I did. It was nice.
I saw it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Well, we tried to engage it all
Yes.
all morning.
So I thought I could just run from my mixing board into the interface into the computer. And then 2 mics, boom, go right in Audacity. No problem. Lily said, yeah, it should work. My buddy Eric said, yeah, it should work. It didn't work.
No.
I don't know why. We could not get it to work, and I think it's because we don't know enough about Audacity. It had to be something with the way the program is set up, because we were getting a signal on my end, we just couldn't get it to record. So we
dicked around with it for like a half an hour, and it was
longer
plugged
than
in,
that.
and he's got a silver thing, and then another silver thing, and then a black thing, and a prong. And I just got my laptop open, and I'm like a dead spin, and and I felt guilty because, you know, I always get accused of not paying attention or ADDing and kind of drifting off. I'll do it with Lily sometimes. You know what I mean?
Well, it doesn't take long for you to check out.
Well, no, but here's why though, because there's nothing I can fucking do. That's another thing, and I feel guilty about it because I can't help you. I mean, I can do sound checks, I can talk, and I can say this is doing this and this is doing that, but I couldn't offer a solution if you asked me for 5 days in a row. I could sit here and think on it. Yeah. I wound up Googling the one thing that was a breakthrough for us that let me, make the Audacity work. But then we finally got Audacity working with the microphones. And fucking, by the way, I recognize you are all falling asleep right now, but it was this thing where we tried to make it work, and then there was this crazy reverb on our voices, but the reverb wasn't going into the computer.
And we'll guess what? We have to stop talking right now because we're recording on these dumb discs.
Back in a week.
Number 23.
Bravo, termite! I am Yeep, herald to Thorgar, hell's most ferocious torturer, barbarous soldier of Abaddon. We...
Take a number.
A number? Such insolence! Thorgar will enjoy flaying the skin from your back with his fanged whip, bathing in your...
Look, I own this deli. You want to eat, you got to take a number.
You dare! Very well, Thorgar.
24. 25. 26. 26.
Right here. I am Yeep, herald to Thorgar! The foul one requires nourishment. Fetch him the head of a virgin hog, its jowls stuffed with the entrails of aborted infants, whose unheard screams of misery provide extra sustenance for the long journey ahead.
Look, we got sandwiches or soup.
Enough! We tire of these delays! Know that your impertinence has ensured that all who bear the name Schlotsky are doomed to an afterlife of violation in the ash pits of Thorgar's dominion! Fire imps will be set loose in the ears of all in your bloodline, eating their way through the brains of the accused! Male Schlotskys will have their cocks devoured by spider mites, while the females will be used as eternal breeders, all of their holes constantly filled with the seed of hell's most terrifying brutes! Their agony will be our triumph, as the unholy monsters who continually fall from their diseased uteri will ultimately follow Thorgar into heaven and slay God himself! From this day forth, all of hell's demons will carry the name Schlotsky! Your fate is sealed! Yes, I believe I saw Blimpy's one block over, Thorgar. We can stop there on the way to the... Yes.
The week is up. I should put a spot in there.
What, between when the discs change?
Yeah, because I haven't been, and that seems disingenuous. I think it's something I should do. I have spots. I like them. I enjoy them.
I think you should, just because a lot of those things we did a long time ago, and there's probably people that haven't heard them.
True, there are new people on board.
And I think people need to know that there was a show called the Jerk Off Journals.
Actually, I may have used that because that one made me laugh so much. I think I may have used Jerk Off Journals more often than any other show that we did. Those, because you know me, I always want different, and I always want you in there. So I am always Jerk Off Journals. I use, and I use the any of the Mathis or the Elvis Costello stuff. Any of that stuff I like.
What about the day the Indians killed Danny Nagy? Was that?
You know what's funny? It's funny you would mention that. Yeah, the day the Indians killed Danny Nagy is one of my favorites. We made like a 5-part thing because he bought it on Kickstarter. He was one of the guys who donated.
It was part of a Kickstarter.
The other day, I because it came up on my iPod and I laughed, and then I went to Facebook. Danny Nagy's not my friend anymore.
Maybe
I was like,
maybe
oh
the
my
Indians
God.
killed him.
Perhaps they got to him, but it was this weird thing where it popped up in my iPod and I was like, fuck, because I used to hear from him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
He
this
tuned
is
out.
Well, the way this show is,
eventually you're going to get everybody.
Someone's going to take off. But there were people that, but I've also become, in case in point, we just did a whole segment on fucking Chris and Nagy. You know what I mean? Because I will, I have a bunch of listeners I don't know.
Yeah.
But also there are people who I specifically know who write me all the time. Like our friend, David Kemp just wrote me. David Kemp offered to sell me his car.
Really?
Like, yes. And part of me was like, dude, that's so fucking cool of you. And then part of me is like, what's wrong with it? Because he loves the show so much, he just wants to generate content. So he just wants to give me some beater. It's going to wind up, the drivetrain's going to fall out of it, and I'm going to wind up half dead telling a story.
Wait till Mike drives my car.
It's going to be so awesome. He cut the brake lines. Oh, that story's going to be awesome. But he offered to sell me his car, and he offered to bring it to me. Like, it was one of those things where he's like, hey, dude, you want to buy my car, and I'll drive it up to Wisconsin,
and I'll walk home.
Yeah, and I'm like, but then part of me's like, he just wants to meet Jill. That's what he wants to do. God damn it. That dude just wants to see Jill and where she lives. Fuck. But then I realized you're being stupid, and I reined myself in.
Phew.
Well, that's how it works. That's how I do things. So there's people that, I kind of know their name. Like our friend, like Derek and Mara who came, they've seen me fucking 7 times. And, when you met David. You met David in Naperville. He came to the show there. David Kemp.
David Kemp. Yeah, I know.
Exactly, yeah. And he's a music guy, too.
Yeah.
Remember, he gave us the soundtrack, and he signed them for us and stuff. He gave you a copy, me and Lily each a copy of the music that he did for the movie. Yeah. So I get people like that, but then there are people like our friend Hanan, who lives in Saudi Arabia, and people who live all over the place, and our friend Liam, who lives, I believe, in England, but perhaps in Ireland.
I think you have to live there if you're named Liam.
That's kind of, you can't leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, they won't let you in America. So those people I know by name. Well, so Danny Nagy became a name we knew because he bought something on Kickstarter. And then he became a bit where we made a thing out of him. And then fucking...
How do you bail after somebody went through all that trouble to make a bit?
It made me laugh. Like I must have said something he fucking hated, or he just went, you know what, I'm done with podcasts, because I understand, dude, 8 years.
Maybe
you're either
he's
on
Native,
board or you're not.
Maybe he's a Native American and was offended.
He was upset?
When
All right.
Danny Nagy was murdered.
They took his Sebring into town or whatever the fuck. Dude, fuck it, I'm playing it just because it makes me laugh. But I think it was a 3-parter. We got
There were 3 parts of it.
Yeah, God damn
Somehow he entered the hallowed ground.
Do you remember us? Because we wrote it, I was like, because again, I want you to do that Indian voice because you did it with the fucking, great Lizard King.
I did the Lizard King thing.
Yeah. So I was like, we got to do that voice. And I was writing the Danny Nagy shit, and I was laughing my ass off at it because it was so stupid. And then, he's just gone. Because, I remember at the time he had and again, he was dating somebody who also became my friend, and she wrote me. And so, I don't even know where his life went. But also, that just happened. There was another guy, and I'll just throw his name out there for no good reason. There was a listener who, maybe I shouldn't say his name because this might embarrass him. Because again, by giving these names, now people will go on Facebook and go, why aren't you Mike's
Mike was
friend?
talking about you.
Don't be dicks. All right, please. Because I'll tell you what, if I was going to do that, I would just turn loose the name of the fucking chick who wrecked my car. Because I'll tell you what, I went on her fucking page again yesterday, off to Vegas for a weekend with the girls, and I'm like, I'm going to murder you. You got to be fucking kidding me. Why are you even smiling in that fucking photograph? And my friends are like, you have to sue her. You have to sue her. I'm like, but she probably doesn't have anything. And they're like, maybe her parents do. Maybe somebody does. Yeah. You have to fucking sue her. So I'm like, all right, well, I got to now, because now I got to do all that shit. I got to find a lawyer. It's bad enough because now I'm still looking for a car and everything else, and I'll update you all that later. But right now we're talking about Danny Nagy. I say his name again, goddammit.
Let's get back to the point at hand.
Of course. As the crow flies.
The crow flies. Danny Nagy was no more.
There was a call in the... I forgot to give
These are our ways.
Well, you remember? Because, dude, writing that shit is so fun. Because and we haven't done it in a couple of years. We should do that. We should sit down and actually write spots.
I think the Mike, what's your name? Schmidt Podcasting Network had that. There was some good stuff.
Well, again, like I said, when we wrote Thorgar and Yeep, and we would sit there and we'd write them, because it's all in longhand. I almost wanted to give those scripts away for fucking Kickstarter, because I would come here and put it on the music stand in front of me and read it and just yell, and when I'd be finished, I was finished. Yeah. Because you can tell they got exponentially longer. Like, I think the first one's 30 seconds. And because we used to hold ourselves, remember with the bits, we're like, all right, we're going to be 15 seconds to 30 seconds long. They have to be. Yeah. And then we started to write more stuff. And of course, I have no editor at all. So literally, one of the Thorgar and Yeeps, I think, is the one where he's...
We're trying to get the job in London or something?
Yeah, who was the guy? Faust. Tom Faust. Faust! So Tom Faust got a job at the overseas thing, and Thorgar wanted the job.
He cursed his house.
So Yeep was so furious. But that was like 2 hours and 20 minutes long, or 2 minutes, I should say, 2 minutes and 20 seconds long.
You know what ended up happening is we would make up pretend shows. We would make these little 15-second bumpers saying, you're listening to the 40-year-old boy. And next, Feral Daryl takes his pants off.
Yeah.
As a title, it was just a funny thing to say. And then we looked at the list of things we wrote down of these pretend shows, and we go, instead of trying to figure out what new spot we could do, why don't we make one of these shows that we just made?
I remember the day we did that with Feral Daryl.
Takes his pants off.
We wrote a show.
Yeah.
It was so stupid.
No matter where he went, he took his pants off.
And when he did, it was trouble.
The mall.
I remember it was like, a good show, sir. What is going on? It was the museum or something? And then oh, Lord! And people out there are just going, none of this is funny.
This is stupid.
But this is better than stereo instructions, which I just gave you a fucking fucking half hour of.
Yeah.
But holy fuck, dude, Feral Daryl takes his pants off. Oh, it's so dumb. God, I love dumb. But when we would sit around and write them, we would laugh our ass off. So another listener, so like I said, I don't know if I want to give his name.
He bailed on you.
He totally bailed. And it was a guy who, again, he used to contact me.
Did
And
he tell you why?
No, people just disappear.
disappear.
And again, they may still listen. He might
Yeah.
just have unfriended me on Facebook, or he might have just outgrown the show or whatever. Or I did. We always talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
You're on board until you're not. You're here
Yeah.
until I hit the one thing you love, and then you go, fuck, that's
I hate
crazy,
that guy.
and you leave.
Yeah.
And again, it was this gentleman and his wife were longtime listeners, and I met them when I went and did a show in the Midwest. Again, I don't want to say where, but they were total. And actually, I threw. He got sick, and I threw like a shout out to him on the show, and I was like, "Hey man, let's keep a thought for this dude or whatever." And then, and maybe what I'm thinking is maybe he got cured, and he went, "Yeah, fuck that guy. I mean, I'm tired of it." That's what he had. He had a Schmidectomy. He had it removed, and it made him better, so that was fine.
All right.
So I mean, I got no clue, but it was just a guy who actually was actively working to get me to his town and trying to book a show for me and all this stuff. And then all of a sudden, because I listened to a show. I was listening to old shows trying to find something, and it came up where I mentioned his name, and I was like, "Oh fuck, I wonder how he's doing."
What's that guy doing?
And then I went because I hadn't heard from him in a long time, and I go to Facebook, not my friend anymore, and I was like, "What the fuck? How did I get culled in the Facebook friendships?" And then part of me realizes Facebook. Some people just go, "I can't deal with the noise," and so they strip it down to their 18 friends and 4 sons, and then they're like, "Yay, that's it. That's all they want to fucking talk to," which seems weird in a social media network. But I guess I got lost in the Great Purge after whatever.
But that cracks me up because you're considered a public figure in a way, you won't unfriend anybody. You get unfriended.
Yes, that happens.
Yeah, that's what cracks me up.
Well,
the
because
most.
I treat my personal page like a fan page because I'm not big enough to have a fan page.
Yeah.
I have the fan club page, which is the Joker's page, and that everybody can contribute to. You run it, I run it, we all jump in. But my personal page, because the rule is, and then dumb.
There's rules?
Well, for me, yes.
Oh.
If anybody asks to become my friend, I say yes. I, however, will not friend anybody on Facebook. I don't ask for friends. I don't send out friend requests because I have a true count of the amount of people then who have friended me.
And what is that list good for?
And nothing at all. Literally nothing. But it's just in my brain.
I need to know.
Well, because
Who likes me?
when you go to Twitter, you'll see those people that they have like 4,000 followers.
Yeah.
But they follow 3,800 people. And you're wondering, was it all a game of you tag, you're it, tag, I'm it. Hey, I'll like you if you like me back, all that bullshit. So I try to keep it true. And and it's so stupid. I'm like, because people will ask me, hey, you should follow me. And I'm like, nah. And it's so dumb. It's the easiest thing in the world to do because what the fuck do I care? But also, I use Twitter like a news thing, so I kind of like to read it. So I don't want it to gum up with a bunch of stuff. It's so stupid. It's just, and then again, I'm old. I'm an old person. So if I'm going to follow people just for no fucking reason, that doesn't seem to make sense to me. But I mean, I'm sure half the people follow me for no fucking reason, so why not?
I can't think of one reason to follow. I don't even know what Twitter. I don't even do Twitter. I don't do any
Awesome.
of that shit.
I thought Twitter was going to change everything. I'm the guy, when 9/11 happened, I was just like, dude, really, nothing ever
I
is
know
going to be
you.
the same.
You called me and told me all that, and you scared me. You scared the shit out of me.
Well, because it was a fucking weird time, and I was like, nothing. And in a certain aspect, nothing is the same. I mean, certain things have been changed forever.
You were in kind of full panic mode, and I was thinking of it more.
Don't act like I was crying.
No,
I
you weren't
mean,
crying then, but you probably were. I could tell in your voice.
I was wavering a bit, certainly.
No, you had just you had already had this vision of what was going to happen.
Well, I rev.
Yeah,
I'll do
that's
that.
exactly what it was. Revving is what you were doing, and I was just saying, dude, I look at this whole thing as like, the nerdiest kid in high school just came up and punched the captain of the football team in the nose and knocked him down.
Right. But
Eventually, I saw it as like, eventually you're going to say that was a one in a million shot. He landed it, give him his credit, but realize that guy is going to get up.
You and I are very much alike because that's my analogy for it now. 9/11 was a lucky punch.
Well, that's what I thought in the moment.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It took me like 6 months to come to that realization, even a year, because I still felt that things are going to be so different. Like and again, gas prices have never changed and all this, whatever the fuck. But also when gas prices went down, dude, gas was under $2 at Jill's house this winter. Right. And I was like, that's fucking insane. Like I never thought I'd see that again in my lifetime. I thought the oil companies were just going to go, well, you know what? Our cock is in your ass for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? Because of what happened.
God damn Obama.
You know what? I'm gonna not blame him for this one. I'm gonna let him off the hook.
Really?
Yeah, why not? He's responsible for everything else, for fuck's
Socialist.
sake. He is. He's all of those things. And a Kenyan. But again, you know my feelings on that. I wanted him to win his second term and come out in a dashiki and just be like, I just do like a Jeffrey Holder laugh and give the speech from the Warriors and then leave.
Charlie Bucket.
You know what I mean? Just come out and just do that fucking cola nut. And then give the speech from the Warriors and say, can you dig it? And then go back to the fucking White House. How great would that have been? How perfect. Right next to the Van Cortlandt Rangers. By the way, that is my favorite name ever for a gang.
Van Cortlandt Rangers?
I
know you like that name.
God, I love it. The Van Cortlandt Rangers. To the point where I want my fantasy team to be Van Cortlandt Rangers if I ever play again. That's it. We're in. Draw me a logo. So
the fan bailed on you.
he took off.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, and it was kind of a weird one because that was a guy I think I'd actually talked to on the phone.
That's weird. I mean, I could see fringe people just kind of coming in and going, I've had enough of this.
Oh, that happens.
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
And those are the people who very loudly stated, well, I'll tell you what, I gave this show a week and then something happened. They write me an email, sir, please believe me when I tell you that my glasses fogged up when I heard your show. You stink.
Care.
Well, I'm interested in feedback, but I'm not interested in you stink and your show stinks and your Mexican friend stinks and your stripper girlfriend stinks. She's the producer, sir. She's not my girlfriend. Stinks. Slam. Virtual door slam. Shut up.
Ouch.
But I get that a lot. But then I get people, of course, who love the show and are on board with it.
That's cool.
Like our friend Blind George, who called himself Blind George and has emailed me last
Blind George?
Blind George.
Dude, yeah, that's a great name.
Yeah, it is. It's not a Chinese Rick, but it's pretty close.
Yeah. It'd be even cooler if you weren't blind.
If you were just Blind George, but you weren't a blind dude?
Yeah, you were just a guy.
Oh, see, I like blind if you're blind.
Oh, see.
Because there's too many, aren't there, are all the blues singers blind when they're called blind?
Usually.
Like Blind Lemon Fulton or whoever the fuck?
I don't know. Blind Melon Chitlin.
I think Blind Lemon Fulton is from my friend Pete Moore's act. Literally, his imitation of a blues concert was, you won't believe who just walked in. And Blind Lemon Fulton was one of the guys who had just walked in.
I was telling Val about your hatred of the blues.
Yes.
And I used the example. Were you in San Francisco? You were somewhere with you and Avivo at a blues club. Was that you? That the guy goes, you want to hear some slow blues?
Yeah, I had opened for. It's a blues guitarist, and I have to remember his name. Charlie Musselwhite.
Charlie Musselwhite.
Yeah,
okay,
that's who it was. And he's not a guitarist.
He's a harmonica, right?
Yeah. But I also opened for another blues guitarist at some point. But yeah, Charlie Musselwhite was the guy I opened with, and I happened to be at the show with Ken Skin, lead singer of local punk band. I think what the fuck was their name? I can't even remember. He was Ken Skin. He would just let's put it this way. He was in punk bands in high school, but then he got older and he still maintained the Ken Skin moniker. And he would burst on stage with like the Voidoids or somebody, and they'd let him sing a song or something, and it was like, oh, good for you. But he was I at the time was dating his dating's a strong word. She was married, but she was his sister. She's the woman who set all my stuff on fire. Okay, which you would think her husband would do that, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you think he'd be first in line to torch my shit? But apparently he did not. You know what he did instead? Unfriended me on Facebook.
That'll show you.
I'm taking off. So it was me and Kathy and Ken Skin at the show, and I finished with opening, and then Charlie Musselwhite came on, and I was waiting to get paid, and then Charlie Musselwhite did a couple of songs, and then after 2 songs he went, "You guys like slow blues?" And Ken Skin from the bar goes, "I like no blues."
That's it. I like no blues.
Loud, like as loud as he could, filled the entire arena. It was some club in in Irvine or something, and literally you heard it echo off the walls. And I mean, as much
the
as
crowd was like the perfect lull in the crowd. Yeah,
because then Charlie's not exactly revving them into a frenzy.
I was just saying when that you've known this from heckling sports people. When you get
Hi,
that,
I'm Mike Schmidt.
yeah.
You may know me from heckling sports people.
When you get that moment when you say the perfect thing in the perfect amount of space of silence, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
I like no blues.
I like no blues. My one of my I told you Mike Scott, our friend Mike Scott, who was from high school.
Yeah.
We went to a Chicago Blackhawks New York Rangers game, and it was warm-ups, and the Rangers were out skating their warm-ups, and it got quiet. and Mike Scott, Barry Beck was the captain of the Rangers. He was this big 6'4", like 250-pound defenseman who fucking fought, and he was their captain. and he had the C on his jersey, and he skated by us, and Mike Scott goes, "Hey Beck, that C's for Claude." Fucking Claude, dude. He called the guy a Claude. And I was like, I'll never forget it. He did it, and there's that, and it got a laugh around us, and then there was silence, and me and Mike Scott looked each other in the face and went, ah! Because even Barry Beck heard it. You know he heard it.
Because it was the perfect place.
So quiet. It's pregame warm-ups.
Yeah.
You know, the stadium's not full, but there's enough people around us, and it just, "Hey, Beck, that C's for Claude." Oh, Claude. How gorgeous is that? Oh.
I have to tell you, the best heckle I ever heard, and it's so stupid. It's not. There's nothing to it. It's not intelligent. It's not witty. It's just. It was perfectly timed. I was in a band, and we were. We were playing Wrigleyville. Sluggers at Wrigleyville, and we were booked, but they didn't bother to tell us we weren't the band for the night. We thought we were the band for the night. Turns out we were the background music for hardcore midget wrestling, and they didn't tell us.
Nobody mentioned that?
No.
Was that in your contract?
Honestly, yeah.
Jesus.
Because we had a guy who lived in Wrigleyville who knew the drummer and called him that day and goes, "You sure you guys are playing tonight?" And the drummer's like, "Yeah." He goes, "Because I just drove by Sluggers and the sign out front says one night only midget boxing tonight." And I said, "No, that's got to be left over from Friday night." He goes, "They're going to change it tonight." You know?
Let me ask you this. How do you limit that to one night?
Yeah, I know. See?
That's a week-long stint.
Well, anyway, so we get there and we realize that this is going to be the worst gig of our life because we play dance music for like oldies covered. Like we're big with bars and taverns where people want to dance to songs they know. So we played all it. There weren't any girls there.
What's the name of this band?
The band I was in was called Giggle Water.
Yes, it was.
And we went there thinking, all right, this is a big step up for us. We're playing Sluggers. No, we weren't because.
Now tell people what Sluggers is a big deal.
Sluggers is right next to Wrigley.
Right. So
Wrigley
you're
Field.
right in the
Yeah.
heart of Wrigleyville. So even if people aren't coming to that show,
Yes.
they're coming to that show. People wander by and they come in just to drink. It's a big joint and it's got a big name in Chicago.
And we had been playing the south side of Chicago for the most part, and this was the first time we had ever gotten somewhere where other people who lived in the Chicagoland area could come see us. So it was a big deal for us. We had a mailing list. I mean, it was a big deal. And anyway, so they we walk in and the guys are building the ring. By the way, the guy that ran this is pretty famous now, I guess. Puppet, you know Puppet?
Yeah, he's on TV.
Yeah. This was his deal. It's his hardcore wrestling thing. Well, he comes over to us and he goes, "Guys, I don't know if you like pro wrestling, but this is what it's going to be like. I instigate the crowd. I talk shit." He goes, "Don't take anything personally. I'll insult you guys." And I got it. I was watching wrestling at the time. I guess, whatever, dude. I don't care.
So that's Puppet actually speaking to
Puppet,
you.
yeah.
You know, because he had a reality show. He's a big deal.
Yeah, I know. And this had to be like 2000 and
By the way, I don't mean he's a big deal. I mean, but I'm just saying.
Well, he was a
in
big
the world
deal.
of midget wrestling.
Yeah.
He's a really big deal. He's been on national television.
Yes.
He was in like TNA.
He was on Jackass.
Yeah.
Well, I know he was a big deal because when I first met him, he was making out with a full-size woman. I thought that was kind of cool.
Good for you, Puppet.
Way to go, Puppet.
You're dragging in regular sized tail?
Yeah.
You're doing a nice job as a
Puppet
midget.
had a full-size chick. So he's giving us the rundown, and this I can tell this is going to be awful because it's nothing but frat boys coming in that want to see Muppets, want to see midgets, and probably Muppets too if they
take whatever they got.
That'd be a good fight, midgets against Muppets.
Oh, holy God. All right, a second. Let's
we get them, we get the Knocky Tots.
get spicy marinara out there
got a
shaking
thing.
it. I like
So
it.
anyway, so we play for an hour and we're cutting songs left and right because there's no girls there. Nobody wants to dance. We were trying to find anything hard we could play because, I mean, you've been booed. I've been booed before because they want to hear the opening act or boo, you know. But the worst was we would play a song and all we would hear after the song was midgets, midgets, midgets. So we finally get through the opening set, the ring's set up, he's borrowing our PA, he's got our microphone, and he's just foul. He's talking shit, he's calling everybody. I mean, he's the heel. He's supposed to get everybody to hate him. And this was the funniest thing. It's so stupid, but he got up and he made this proclamation. He goes, every woman here wants to fuck a midget, and every guy here wants to be a midget. And everybody's, and then all of a sudden there's this quiet, and all of a sudden out of the crowd you hear, fuck you, midget.
Just dropped it in the silence.
Just the way he said it was perfect because it was like, fuck you, midget.
Like, you know what?
Yeah.
Like, he actually took him seriously with what he said.
He
And he
just
sneered.
was
He's like, come,
It
fuck.
was so dismissive. It was
Even
just
you
like,
can't believe that,
come
midget.
on, fuck you, midget. Oh, dude. Yeah, that was the worst night of my life playing anywhere.
Come on.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was
dude.
awful. We left mid-show. We just bailed.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Why
was
wouldn't you?
horrible. It was
Why would they
horrible.
want a band behind
Well,
that?
they never bothered to see. They wanted music between the bouts because I guess you have to pick up all the tacks after
Oh,
you hit
God.
somebody over the head with a garbage can.
It was
And-
hardcore midget wrestling?
Yes, it was
Oh,
hardcore
dude.
midget wrestling, and the stage in Sluggers was in one corner, and they built the ring right next to it. And by they, I meant the midgets.
Yeah.
All the wrestling midgets brought their ring, and they had to assemble it. So when we pulled up in the alley at Sluggers, they're walking in like the Seven Dwarfs with all these girders and stuff, like six midgets all coming in with these. And I know you're not supposed to say midget, right?
Well, no, I don't think so.
Little
I don't
person-
think they care for that.
The little persons were the little people.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. If you got 6 midgets building something,
Yes.
does it go up quicker if you let them do 6 midgets with their tiny hands, or do they form a midget Voltron and get the whole thing done?
Assemble!
Yeah, just fucking climb into one giant thing. I say you go that way. I go midget Voltron.
Hi ho!
Oh, dude, heckling. I have told the story on here where we went to a Bulls game, and
Oh, he was your brother?
yeah, and against the Jazz, and my brother Andy decided he didn't like Larry Kristoviak.
I remember.
And he's just screaming at him. I mean, because the Bulls are up 30 in the
Yeah.
third. You know, it's Jordan Bulls, and he's like, Kristoviak, you're a slob. I mean, and he's just, and to the point where they notice, like the Jazz,
They're actually laughing.
they're laughing and they're looking at Larry Kristoviak, and he actually at one point he just shrugs. He's just like, I have
don't know
no.
why this guy hates me.
Like, Kristoviak's a bum. You're a bum. Get out. Yeah, what are you doing? Just like who's all the whole second half, he's all over him. And it's that kind of heckling where even the black dudes are rolling and just looking at Kristoviak, and he's just kind of shrugging like, I don't
know why this guy hates me.
and we're dying because we can see they hear it, and to the point where they have to acknowledge it to him, and he put a towel over his head. He's just like, yeah, I don't get it at all, because it wasn't even, there was nothing like that. Robin Fricker dude would come up and he would just be all pointed, and he was just an ass behind the Bullets
Oh,
bench.
that guy. Yeah, I remember.
But Andy's just from the fucking, up in the midsection. He's
Yeah.
not even close to the bench, but he's loud, and he's Kristoviak, you are a bum. Just letting him have it.
You
so
clod.
gorgeous. Oh, dude, back that C's for Claude. I'll never forget it. Hey, back that C's for Claude. I'm 13. Hey, back that C's for Claude. And then there's just a beat and a laugh, and then we look at each other. We're like, oh, dude. Oh, so great. We went. Jill and I have been going to her son's sporting events. We've been going. I went to a volleyball game. I went to a couple of baseball games, football games, but we were sitting there in the bleachers, and there were some of the students from the school there, but then there's mainly adults. They all come to see, and I said something. I was talking shit about some kid, but it was like quiet. I'm not a jerk.
No,
I'm talking, but I'm to her.
Yeah,
I'm just like, look at this monster playing first base. How does that kid even run? I mean, we just talk, and she kind of laughs, and she just looks at me. She's like, honey.
Guy's parents are here, right?
Yeah, and I said to her, I go, because I told her this story because this is totally true. I was banned from our high school baseball team from games.
You couldn't go watch the baseball.
They
team?
wouldn't let me come because I went to a game, and I tell you what,
I don't think
never,
anybody went to those games.
Exactly, that's the thing. It's like it was never really a thing to go to the
No,
baseball
there wasn't
games.
a spectator thing with.
We were a
baseball.
basketball and a football school.
Yeah.
So I had detention.
No, I know.
And I didn't want to just go home. I kind of did, but I didn't want to because there was no bus to take. So I was going to wait and I was going to take the fucking 5:30 activity bus.
Okay.
And you weren't supposed to if you had detention.
Yeah, you
were
were-
supposed to walk home. But nobody fucking cared about me. I was
Nobody cared about me.
well, no, because
They cared enough to kick you off the field.
I was America's guest. I mean, that was the thing. Is like I would show up in classrooms where I didn't belong, and they just let me sit there.
You're right. You had 3 lunches, 4 gyms.
I just did what I wanted.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't graduate.
Yeah,
But
because it's funny. I never put that together, but like, I had you were in like a lot of my classes, and I don't think you had those classes.
No, I would sit next to you,
Yeah.
and we'd just be talking, and then the bell would go off, and I'm like, well, fuck, I can't leave
had to
now. And I'd hang out, and I'm like, hey, let's learn about the Trojan War. You know what I mean? I didn't care. I
I'll
was
take
just,
an art class.
Yeah, the whole fucking thing was like a buffet to me. High school. I didn't go where I was supposed to go. I took a little of this. I took a little of that.
Yeah.
The only thing I didn't take was a diploma.
Yeah.
So I would do that. So I was in detention, and afterwards you're supposed to just walk home because you're being, you feel shame.
And then you go free.
However, I decided I was going to wait and take the activity bus, the booster bus, because nobody fucking cared, really.
No.
So I said I'll go check out the baseball game in the meantime. So I go over to check out the game, and this is '85. This is after you guys are gone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
this
there's
is-
no
this is-
Pete, there's no Jeff.
No, I'm not there for those guys.
You and evil baseball
Right.
faction has moved on.
Exactly. I'm there for the Weiseglads and those dudes.
Okay.
So, and I heard Tommy's sick.
Yeah.
Tommy's in trouble.
Hammer King?
See, I didn't call him a Tommy. Yeah, the Hammer King. He's on the ropes.
Yeah.
Which is not good. But by all means, let's talk about it in a podcast in a frivolous manner.
I'm not being
So
frivolous.
stupid. Yes, you are. Because I said it and you just laughed. You like pointed and laughed.
I did?
You did, yeah. And plus, you have his picture here on the dartboard. So, I get to this game, and it's like a mausoleum because there's very few bowling.
yeah,
fans.
nobody. Yeah.
And I think we may have been playing like Joliet West or something.
you remember who we were playing?
I believe it was Joliet West, and so I was like, "Well, fuck this! I'm here.
I'm already in trouble.
Why not? I'm killing time to get on a bus." And so I just start, and because I'm not. Well, here, all right, you guys probably know this about me. I'm not just like, you suck, man, because there's nothing funny about that at all. No, I mean, I'm finding their glasses or their hairstyle or their number or their uniform or how it fits and the way they walk and their batting stance. And I mean, I am carving the other team to pieces.
And you
Joliet West.
incorporate that into a nickname.
Oh, hell
That's
yeah.
one of the
Everybody-
things we're famous for.
Yeah, everyone gets a name. Everyone just and all of them get this, and it's all about their stance or the way they run, or and they're popping out and they're flailing and it's high school baseball. I'm a major league heckler at a high school baseball game, and I mean I am letting this team have it to the point where the ump keeps turning around and looking at me like, what the fuck is going on? Like he has no idea. So then. The next day, I mean, and I do it the whole game. Like I don't leave, I don't stop at all. And afterwards, our team comes out of the dugout and they're they're laughing their asses off. And they come over there, they do the handshake and they do whatever. And the rest of the team is like, they're pointing their bats at me. They're pissed.
Yeah.
Because again, I'm not an adult either. I'm a high school student. I'm an idiot. And Alan Welch, I'll never forget, he's the catcher.
Yeah, I remember.
And he comes over and he goes, I couldn't focus on catching the ball. You were making me laugh so hard. And I'm like, seriously? And he's still in his gear.
Yeah.
He goes, if I'm you, he goes, these guys want to kill you. Like they all want to fight you. And I'm like, seriously? He goes, they were asking me, who is this guy? They asked the ump, they're like, who's this guy? What is he doing? Why is this happening? Like the whole thing was falling apart because they didn't know what the fuck was. I mean, I made a whole team just go, what is this guy doing? Why is he doing it? And when is he leaving? And then Alan said he's laughing and he's just like, I don't know. I mean, he's never been here before. It's not. So then I got Joliet West thinking that like every time I'm the designated heckler idiot. But Alan Welch is like, dude, I was laughing so hard. I like because he had a couple of pass balls. He's like, I was laughing because I couldn't focus and the ball went by me. He goes, I was just cracking up. And he goes, but these guys want to kill you. He goes, they kept asking me, who the fuck is this guy? And I'm just like, I don't know. And then the next day I go to school and I get called to the office and I hadn't done anything, man. I knew because I knew when I had shit that I had done and I was going to be in trouble.
Yeah, you know you're going to get called on.
The only thing I can think of is I rode that fucking bus. So I'm like,
Yeah.
oh fuck, I rode the activity bus. They're going to bust my balls for it.
Yeah.
But I get called into the dean's office, and it's Miss Gasper, and she's like, she says, hey, were you at the baseball game yesterday? And I said, yeah. And she goes, all right, because we got a complaint. And I said, who complained? And she goes, everyone.
We can go down the batting order.
Our coaches sold me out. They complained.
Of course.
And the other team filed a formal complaint.
I never knew this.
And the umpire complained. Like all of them, they just said it was an inappropriate level of, what was it? Inappropriate level of abuse. An inappropriate level of abuse for a high school scholastic event. And
That's your whole career.
right?
That's what it said next to your picture in the yearbook.
So they had it was an inappropriate high school athletic event, an inappropriate level of abuse for a high school athletic event. And she said, so I'm telling you, you can't go to the baseball games anymore. And I'm like, what are you serious? And she goes, yeah, you're not allowed. You're banned from our baseball games. And that's by request of our coaching staff.
Yeah, not the other team.
No, the other team, they were pissed, but she said even the umpires and everybody, she goes, they all got together, they all filed formal complaints with the school. And they called me in and fucking banned me. I was banned. I'm fucking banned. I'm out of there.
I'm out of there.
You know what I did? I threw my complimentary watered down drink right in her fat face. Told her she could eat my dinner. I'm out of here.
For being
Dude,
too good of a heckler.
how great is that? I mean, and like I thought, and again, I never, and then of course the guys are like, dude, aren't you coming to the game? I go, I got banned. I get fucking 86 from your games. And then they were like, dude, it's so boring without you there. Because again, nobody ever went to those fucking games.
No.
I show up and I'm just, again, you know who I was? I was the midpoint of Wizard of Oz. It's like baseball was black and white in Bolingbrook till I showed up, and then everything went fucking color. We show up in Oz, we're skipping, there's a scarecrow and a lion who doesn't want to yell at anybody. It's fucking awesome. That's who I was, dude. I was the second half of Wizard of Oz in person, and they fucking banned me. Terrible. So that's
I
why
didn't know that.
Yeah,
well, then again, it was 85, so
yeah,
we were gone.
You were living a life. You'd become an adult
I was downtown with the gays.
in your Cavaricis.
Yeah.
So dude, I love heckling. I don't do it anymore because I don't see the point in it. But when I was with Jill, I told her that story. I go, I got banned from my high school, and she's like, dude, Jill listened to this fucking show, man. She knew who I was. She
Yeah,
knew I was a scorpion.
exactly.
And then she'll be with me, and she's just like, why are you doing that?
What do you mean? Why am I doing that?
The other day, this happened. We're at the post office. That's how I was going to talk about the shirts. So I sent shirts to everybody who's getting shirts. Alessandro, you're getting an Atlanta shirt, and if you want a different one, dude, let me know. Just write me and I'll send it to you. Because again, he was like, just pick a design, and so I sent the Atlanta shirt because it's the only large I had. But if you want an extra large and something else, that's cool. I think I got some mediums, because he said he could take a medium too, and I got a medium Denver shirt. I got a medium Prince, Minnesota shirt. It's the only one I got left, but it's got muck on it. So if you want it, that's cool.
Was it dipped into the waters of Lake Minnetonka?
It may have been. Actually, Apollonia wore it and dove in.
Oh, yeah.
So we're at the post office the other day, and Jill is in a fucking, this small town. It's right on the water. And
It's a small town on the water.
it is, dude. And it's the kind of town that, like, if you get a train set,
Yeah.
you get that town.
It's 4 buildings and some bushes.
Yeah, it goes in the center, and there's like a little conductor guy, and there's 40 bars, and that's not even. I think that's light. There might be more bars than 40, because that's the whole joint is just propped up by alcohol fumes, dude. It's forget about it. Prohibition comes. This place is a ghost town. It's just Jill and a skeleton and a tumbleweed. Forget it. So fucking, it's right on the water, and everybody kind of knows everybody there, and I've already mentioned but the only thing they don't know is me, so they're all fucking kind of freaked out about it. And we walked to the post office, and it was idyllic. It was a beautiful day.
Yeah.
Hand in hand, we walked down the hill together, and we got our pedometers rolling. We're keeping track of our miles.
Dude, what happened to you?
What are you talking about, dude? I don't know. You should see this picture. Dude, if you saw the picture she sent me on my phone, you realize why I do all this. When you're in love, you do things. That's what happens. You're in love, you fix your roof. Well, you would never fix your fucking roof if you weren't in love with Kristen.
No, it's not a good example. I fixed my roof because I wouldn't want my kids to get wet.
Okay, your kids, you're in love with them.
I am.
Yeah, okay, so
Yeah.
you fix your roof. But if it was just you, dude, fuck your roof. Literally, you would find a bucket and put it under whatever hole showed up and keep
If
playing
it was
Xbox.
just me, I wouldn't even have a roof.
See, exactly. So that's what I'm saying. It's like I love Jill, so I like going for walks with her, and I like going out by the marina and seeing things. It's cool. She's the fucking best, and there's that part of me that wants to be that guy with her. It's great. But then when we go to the baseball, but then the problem is she's always waiting for the rest of me to come out, and she's all nervous all the time. And I'm like, honey, I love you. You don't have to be nervous. Yeah, she's kind of flinchy, like she's waiting to see. Hey, don't be you. Stop being you. Because I mean, she loves me, but then when more of me shows up, she kind of she goes into a bit of a defensive shell, and I guess I don't blame her. You've done it with me. You've walked away from me when I'm talking to people.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't like it.
Yeah, I know. So she's the same way.
But mine's more, I mean, I don't know about Jill, but mine's more anxiety driven than it is, fear.
Well, I don't think she fears me. She doesn't fear me.
Well, fear in the sense of being put in a situation you don't want to be in. You're fearful of that situation, not physically fearful.
Well, honestly, it's like, she's with me during the day and everything's fine, and I'll be a mogwai, but then she gets me wet and forget about it. Fucking all this bullshit happens.
Stuff starts shooting out.
Yeah, that's just how it works, And so I say to her, and this is the first time where I actually kind of, because usually I'll kind of tap dance around it. But so we go to the post office to order shirts or to send shirts.
Yeah.
And I get to the counter, and it's a postcard town. It's one of those joints. They sell artisan chocolates and fucking nonsense. So the wispy greeting cards and whatever. There's 2 restaurants. It's like that kind of joint. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
it's just like there's a library and a hill. And a
Stephen King,
cemetery like right on a block.
It's like a Stephen King kind of main town.
Yeah, man. And you're waiting for like a boogity shoe to show up and fucking yell at somebody. You know what I mean? He's just like a monster. Seriously. He like lives in a closet somewhere. He's gonna fucking amble out. This is totally true. I drive her to work. There's deer in somebody's yard. Just fucking, and they're lurking.
Lurking deer.
Yeah, and so that's and again, it's a beautiful place because Jill is there, but I would never choose. It's the kind of place I would do stand up in and they'd hate me. You know what I mean? That sort of joint. Which, by the way, covers most of America.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's kind of Midwest there, dude.
So we go to this fucking post office, and how are we at disc-wise, by the way? I should ask you that question.
You got about 12 minutes, and then we can go to disc 3.
This totally covers this anecdote. So we go to the post office. We wait in line, and it's that. I'll tell you this backwards. I went to the post office by myself to send more shirts, and I thought I'd be in and out because it's this fucking country ass post office. Well, there was a farmer's market on the street outside, and I walked in. There's 5 people in line, and it's literally like 3 kids with letters to Santa. You know what I mean? Dude, put a stamp on that and put it in the fucking box. Nobody needs to have a conversation with fucking Speedy McZip code to get their goddamn letter to Santa Claus in August. Fuck you, midget. But they're with their mom and they're like, you got the stamp? Did you lick the stamp and put it on? Oh my God, you're going to kill your kid with stamp glue? There's fucking adhesive stamps now. Quit making them lick anything. But you're a big boy now. You can mail your own letters. Get the fuck out of my way. I got to send t-shirts to New Jersey and fucking Minneapolis. Get the fuck out of my way. So sure enough, she's like, that was loud, huh? That was a loud one.
Oh, yeah.
Are the kids here?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy.
They're sleeping. Well, they were.
Well, I can tell you this.
That's one hell of a way to wake up.
Well, and also this. They're going to get out of my way.
They are.
Pretty obvious. But yeah, it's like you walk in and there's one woman holding like 2 packages. And dude, and I should tell you, in LA, there's 75 people in line at the post office. Anyone you go to, any location you go to, it's always just some fucking nonsense. But I walk in and there's 5, which is big for that town. So I have to admit, in my heart, I was like kind of like, fuck, because I was running late. I had to get Jill's son and pick him up from football practice. So I get in line. And again, there's the little kids with like Buki letters to Santa and the two. But in the front of the line, at the counter, there's 2 people. But one woman has her window closed, of course. Yeah. Because she's, I don't know, counting dandelions, whatever the fuck they're doing in this small town. She's painting an idyllic landscape. And then next to her, the one is a dude, and he's inhabitant. And the woman in the front of the line, she's probably like 65, and she's got 1 letter. That's it, 1 letter. And he's going, well, you want to add any insurance to this? Oh, heavens, no, it's nothing I would need to insure. It's just a letter to my boy, and he's over in the,
I don't care.
Do you guys sell nooses? I mean, just fucking terrible. And then she starts, this farmer's market is delightful out front. Do you guys ever get out there? And he's like, oh, yes, sometimes, ma'am, on our lunch break. Well, I'll tell you what, you get out there, the peaches this year are fantastic. They've got the white peaches and they got the peachy peaches and they're so delicious. And you got a fruit stand there and you go ahead and you ask them, I'll tell you, when you go out there, tell them that I told you to get the peaches because... And I'm in the back of the line and I just went, what time do you close? Because it's like, it was 11:15. And they go 12 o'clock. I go, I'll come back. And I had to announce it because like, I thought it would maybe prod her to stop, but she not even missed a beat. What time do you close? And then there's peaches, and they got a soup peach, and they got another peach that you can go ahead and put on a shelf. Sometimes I don't even eat the peaches. I just take them home and I like to look at them, and then they rot, and you get the pits. Oh, I take the peach pits. You ever make a mobile for a baby out of peach pits, and you hang it over? You got to make sure you scrub up all of the detritus, however. You can't have any sort of peach pulp in their faces when the little babies are looking up at the planes with the peach pit in their mobile. Shut the fuck up.
That's when the gun goes off.
No kidding, dude. Terrible. But she's going on and on and on. And so I left. I bailed.
Country small talk.
Yes, sir.
Can't handle it.
So I took off. And then I texted Jill. I go, someone likes peaches. Like, literally, it was just so mad.
And she knew who it was. Is that
course.
Elvis Anderson? Oh. Yeah. She loves peaches.
Is that Martha? So that was my second trip by myself to the post office. But the first one I went with Jill, and we waited in line, and we got to the front, and there was a different lady working the window. And I had 2 things of T-shirts, and I handed them to her, and she's like, oh, where are these going? And I'm like, well, one's going to Nevada, and she puts in the post office thing. And Jill is on my left, and I'm being very nice. I'm like, yes. Oh, I go, you guys are busy, and I hand her, and I'm making small talk, and I'm being a good person. And then the woman goes, oh, well, how do you want to pay for this? And I go, and I've done this a million times. I've mailed these fucking T-shirts.
Yeah.
I pay with the Throw Punch Media card, and then and because it's a credit card, you have to show them your driver's license as well, so they know you're you. So she goes, credit or debit? I said credit, and I got my wallet out already. I go, do you need my license out? And she goes, no, but I do need you to sign the back of your credit card.
Oh.
Now, I've had this credit card for 6 years. I don't ever sign my cards.
Why not?
Because I don't. Because
You're supposed to.
well, you can. It's my credit card. If I want to sign it, I'll fucking sign it.
Okay.
There's a reason it's not signed, because I chose not to sign it. So she goes, yeah, you're going to have to sign the back of your credit card.
But they're not valid unless you sign it, are they?
I've used it for 6 years.
That's not what I'm saying. I think it says on there, not valid unless signature.
Yes, but I've used it in post offices in now probably 8 states, and nobody's ever asked. Nobody. Dude, I've used it for 6 years. In all sorts of, and of course, I have to find persnickety Pam, who works at the fucking post office in this goddamn whimsical town. So I hand, and she hands it. She's like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna have to sign this for me to use it." And I go, "Why?" And she goes, "Because it's our policy. You know, we have it right here. You got to sign the thing." And I had my wallet in my hand, and I tossed my wallet on the counter. I didn't throw it in the air, but I was just like, and I fucking, because again, I'm a hostage. There's nothing I can do. I now have to sign the card. I haven't signed for 6 years because I don't want to fucking sign it. It's my card. If I wanted to sign it, I would have signed it when I got it out of the fucking envelope.
I'm sorry, I'm not tracking you on this
I hear
one.
you. Look, I could be totally weird. Absolutely, I agree.
Well,
That's fine.
it's a fight that you don't have to have.
I didn't have a fight.
Well, I'm just saying it's a conflict that doesn't even need to be a conflict.
Right. She shouldn't have to make me sign my card.
No, you're supposed to sign the card.
No, you can sign your card if you want.
It says on there not valid.
I've used it 6 years and nobody's ever asked.
No, again, you're making excuses for somebody else's ineptitude.
No, I'm making excuses for somebody else's persnicketyness.
Okay, I think we're different dudes.
Well, you're firmly in the Jill camp.
I'm of the mind that you can't get upset about something just because it's like when policemen hear the excuse, I didn't know the speed limit was 30 when I was doing 50.
Right.
That doesn't your ignorance of the law doesn't.
I wasn't ignorant of it at all. I didn't want to sign my card.
Well, there's things I don't want to do. I don't want to go outside.
Right,
But
again,
I have to every once in a while.
True. I've used it 6 years and not signed it. Nobody's ever asked.
Okay.
Look, I recognize what you were saying, and it's correct, because it says right on there it must be signed in order for us to use it.
Yeah,
and I guess it's another level of fraud.
else,
Sure, absolutely.
from using your
And I
card.
completely agree with that.
Yeah.
But in the moment, I didn't exactly enjoy being told what to do. I don't like being told what to do. I don't have a fucking boss. All right.
Yeah, but you need a boss.
Yes, but I flash. So that's the thing is I get that. And by the way, think of how silly this sentence. Think of who you're talking to when you just said, "Look, you can't get mad because." Who are you talking to? Seriously, I can get mad because of fucking anything.
Oh, I understand, but a little bit ago you were telling me about your guru, and I'm like, well, dude,
Yes.
maybe you don't need a guru.
Yeah, but the guru's not done scrubbing. There's still
Okay.
stuff in my fucking brain that flashes, and that's what I'm saying. I flash.
Yeah.
It flashes. Okay. And so Jill, she hates the flashing even because I believe me, in the old days, I would have argued. I would have been like, no, why do I have to sign this? Because again, I'm
Yeah.
5, dude. I know you're
No.
right. I'm absolutely not
Yeah.
arguing with her. I'm not arguing with you. You're
I get
absolutely. It should be signed because it's another level of security and protection. But I chose not to sign it for a reason, and it's not signed, and I've used it for 6 years without it being signed. So yes, the odds were in my favor, and finally, but I didn't like someone in their own little fiefdom making me do something because they wanted me to do it in their fucking place, or I couldn't do what I wanted to do.
Okay.
It's childish. Absolutely, I completely agree. It's toddler-esque. And it's very throw yourself on the floor and kick your feet and stamp your and kick your hands and stamp your feet, whatever the fuck, because I just can't tell you what that is about me, but I don't like being told what to do. I don't. And I try to process that, and I try to deal with it.
Well,
and a lot of the stuff I've talked about on the show really can come back to that. I don't like being told what to do. It makes me uncomfortable, and so I act out.
And all I'm saying is that I think that's great. If that's seriously, if that's who you are, great. But there's the other side of that coin is you can't turn around and go, why is all this stuff fucked up?
Well, I agree with
you
that.
know what I'm saying? Like
Yes.
if you were just like, I don't care, I'm doing what I want, and let the chips fall where they may, and if I piss somebody off, I piss somebody off. But if you're gonna go, man, I don't know, man, Jill gets mad when I do this, or I wish this didn't happen to me, or I wish this didn't happen to me. Well, you kind of made it happen.
Well,
to you.
I understand, but I'm self-aware. I know that. I know a lot of my problems are my own making.
Yes,
Absolutely.
but that's the frustrating part about being an observer to this is that there are people that will stumble through life and not understand how they got in that predicament because they just can't. They're not capable of understanding. They're not self-aware. They just do.
Yes.
Then there's a person who knows they're doing the wrong thing.
But dude, I am constantly on the verge of spinning off the fucking planet. Like literally, and that's one of the things I go to therapy for is to try to stop.
Yeah.
And I also recognize this: I can't control big picture things.
Yeah.
So small picture things, I strangle them to death because that's the only fucking thing I have any control
Yes,
over.
but it's-
and I lose my fucking mind.
It's like Don Quixote with fighting the wind. It's completely misplaced. There's no reason for
Yes.
that. And if you really truly wanted to not do that, you could.
And I'm trying. So I'm
Okay.
I'm much better than I used to be. That's what I'm saying. You know, because I mean, normally I would have argued with that chick. I would have
Yeah.
totally. But here's
But the point you were making was
here's
that
a
Jill
good
got
example.
upset.
This is a really good example. Okay.
All right.
This is a good example of my progress as a human being.
Okay.
All right. Wait. How are we on the disc?
You got about a minute and a half.
Fuck. All right. All right. Well,
Well, just go and I'll tell you when to stop.
all
and
right.
we'll
At
get
the
other-
post office with Jill.
Yeah.
I had my wallet in my hand when it happened, and I just went, and I tossed my wallet on the thing, and I grabbed the pen to sign the credit card.
Yeah.
I didn't argue.
Yeah.
I didn't yell. I just went, and I tossed my thing, and it was just, and I shook my head, and but it was enough to make Jill uncomfortable, and enough to make Jill sad and scared and worried. I don't know. It hit places in her that it shouldn't have. I wish it didn't. You know.
That's what I'm saying. You wish it didn't.
Right.
Her reaction is not her overreacting to something.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I'm saying I wish I had not made her react in that fashion because by doing the thing that I did, it hit the places in her that are uncomfortable by that,
So if you want to stop doing that,
which I'm trying to do. And I'm going to
Okay.
get to the example as soon as
All
we
right.
get to the next disc.
You're listening to the 40-Year-Old Boy, and next, Feral Daryl takes his pants off. Will dungarees soothe the savage beast?
Daryl, this is called a mall. In the world of men, this is where we go to purchase the very pants you're wearing now. Wait, oh, I told you! No, cover that mirror! He can't see himself! Oh no! Oh my lord, the pants! Get the train gun! Get the train gun! The pants are off! I repeat, the pants are off!
It's nature versus nurture every week on Feral Daryl Takes His Pants Off on the Mike Schmidt Podcasting Network.
He's headed for the Build-A-Bear!
So I don't know what we were saying. I know what we were saying, but I don't know how to exactly where in the spot of the story I was.
about scaring Jill, not scaring Jill, but
No, I
Putting
scared
people-
her. I won't. That's a pretty good way to put it. I
don't know.
think
I would. is
she
that
gets
scared?
uncomfortable with
Yes.
rage and anger.
Uncomfortable, misplaced though, wouldn't you say? I mean, granted, nobody wants to be around somebody that's lost their temper. It's just weird.
Yeah, but
whether
but-
you're afraid or not, it's just it's.
But this is the line I walk. You know, I don't. She's only seen me really mad a few times. You know, I mean, and so when I flash at the post
Yeah.
office and I just go, and I toss the wallet. I mean, and look, I recognize I can change the tone of a room in 5 seconds. But I used to get told that by fucking Pardo told me, and he's just like, dude, when you walk in, it's like everyone is just like, what? How does Mike feel, and what's going to happen? You know what I mean? And I was like, Jesus Christ, I didn't even think I was doing that, but I guess I did, and I do.
Yeah.
So, but now I'm aware of it a lot more after going and talking to Shannon and figuring out and trying to stop it, because I flashed mad for 5 seconds. I was like, and I tossed my fucking wallet on the counter. I took her pen, I signed it, but then as I was signing the card, there's people in line behind us,
Yeah.
and there's the woman working the post office, and Jill goes, "Why are you mad?"
yeah.
And I'm probably not going to discuss it here in front of everybody in the post office. I'm just going to go ahead and sign my card, and then
Yeah.
we'll pay for it. And so I just didn't say anything, and I signed my card. And she goes, "Why are you mad?"
Yeah.
Which to me doesn't help. Because am I supposed to turn around and go, "I'm mad because I'm a jerk, and I've had a lifelong thing where I fucking lose my temper when someone tells me what to do"? I mean, there's no easy answer for why are you mad in front of a room full of people who don't know me.
Yeah.
So I didn't answer her. I signed the card, and then the woman was like, "All right, well, we'll get these sent out." And I said, "Fantastic, Donna, or whatever the fuck, Danielle." And I was like, "Thank you, I appreciate it." And I was very nice, and, and we walked out. So we walked out away from the post office, and we took about 30 steps, and she goes, "Why were you mad in there?" I said, because I don't like people telling me what to do.
Yeah.
And she just goes, well, that just makes no sense. You made everybody uncomfortable in there. I go, no, I made you uncomfortable. She goes, you made her uncomfortable. She's like, I could see it. And I go, look, if you don't want to be with me because you live in a small town and I just embarrassed you in front of everybody, you better tell me. I go, I'm real sorry about that I flashed angry, but it happens sometimes. I'm trying to stop it. And I was lucky because she took my hand and we were fine. You know what I mean? It was okay. And look, it's not her job. It's not incumbent upon her to deal with my bullshit. But you're with me, and sometimes that shows up, and I'm doing everything I can to stop it. Because here's the analogy I was going to use.
Oh, that's right. Between you and all right.
We went to check into a hotel once, and I think I've told the story on here.
You got mad and threw your wallet.
I fucking whipped it across the goddamn hotel lobby and smashed it into the wall.
But not throwing your wallet and tossing your wallet and exhaling. There's
Totally changed.
no.
Look at me. Look how much better I am.
It's the same damn thing.
Incorrect. Because I fucking Steve Carlton my wallet all the way across the fucking lobby, J.R. Richards style, just bam, and it made a splat noise. It was awesome. It was very satisfying until I went, I'm going to go walk over and pick up my fucking wallet. It's so stupid. But I'll tell you this, but here's the difference. And then when I did that, and then I had to check in, Jill came up behind me and she started rubbing my shoulders and she rubbed my back and she kind of held me. Which was nice and calmed me down. And I was like, and now she looked at me and she's like, why are you mad? Because she's probably sick of dealing with it, I would imagine, after a couple of years.
What was the reason behind you throwing the wallet?
We wanted to check in, and I had made sure online that I had a certain room, and I had an early check-in. And the guy said, no, we can't get you in. I said, what are you talking? It was like 5:45 in the morning, and I had made all the arrangements. I had called, I said, dude, I made arrangements on the phone. He goes, yeah, well, we don't have a room for you. Just that very casual, like, nah, can't help you. And so that would have meant at 5:45 a.m., she and I would have to leave the hotel and go do fuck all until they were ready for us at whatever time, 9. He couldn't even give us a time that it was ready. So then
okay, that to me, that's a situation that a person would get angry at, and maybe at the time Jill knew that she felt the same way, probably. So maybe she comforts you in that situation because she sympathizes with you. The difference between that and the post office is that I'm sure the post office caught her completely off guard because it was so unnecessary. The level of insult.
It didn't rise to that level of
there
reaction.
There was no reason for any of that to happen. So
but I didn't do anything.
You did.
I tossed the wallet and I got it.
That's the thing. You can't say, oh, I'm trying.
But I am.
But that's not trying.
Fuck that. It happens occasionally. It used to happen all the fucking time.
But it's the same thought pattern. Okay, you don't punch the hole through the wall anymore, but maybe you punch something.
Well,
maybe not a hole.
You want to punch something. I walk off so much stuff now that I used to fucking really lose my mind at.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll just walk it off. And you just kind of do that thing where you grip and you just go, you know what, dude? You're 50. This doesn't make any fucking sense. And in the big scheme of things, it doesn't matter.
Sure.
And I'm so, again, I've got to be honest with you, 75% less than I used to do. But occasionally it flashes, but I was better in 5 seconds. I was better in 5 fucking seconds. But then I get, why are you mad? 3 different times. And I felt, that's why I said to her, finally, I go, look, because she goes, I live here. I have to see those people. Yeah. And I'm like, that's when I said, look, if you're embarrassed of me, tell me. And I mean, if you don't want to be with me because of that, because of the reaction that I had at the post office, it doesn't make any sense.
That's an extreme. This sounds all guru-y. Maybe your guru needs to tell you about this.
Where's my book?
Yeah, on the scheme of things, people have a normal, what do they call it, benchmark, where you go up and you go down, you go up and you go down. And most healthy people are in a moderate range. You're fully up or you're fully down.
Yes.
I know. I used to be the same way.
And now you wear duct tape sandals.
Yeah. Yeah, now I don't. Yeah.
Now you're telling me about a guru.
Now I make funny on Facebook. That's what I do now.
You're fixing a roof.
I'm fixing a roof that I don't even deserve.
Right. But I keep fixing the roof, but there are so many fucking holes in my roof, David, I can't possibly fix them all right? But 75% of the holes in my roof are fixed. The other 25% suck.
See, you see 100 holes. There's not 100 holes.
Yeah, there are.
You make holes out of nothing.
We got to punch. Yeah, they show up. Holes are there. That's what it does. I told you I can get mad at a sink. That's always been my go-to about the show.
You're like Dewey Cox.
Yeah, I can get fucking mad at a sink. I can do that. I can. And again, like I said, I recognize hey, you have no larger control in the larger picture of your life, so you get fucking furious at these tiny little things. God, the tine on this fork is bent. Get it the fuck out of here. Who fucked with my forks?
And then
fuck you,
whip the
Peaches.
Yeah, you whip the fork.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I should throw a fork. That'd be
Yeah.
awesome. Like Bullseye, just fucking
just
jam it into somebody's
whipping
forehead.
forks.
Whipping forks, not a bad name for a band.
Yeah. No, and you're impulsive. You just are.
Well, yeah, but I'm trying not to be. That's the thing is I'm scaling it back enough. And I understand, look, dude, I'm not asking everybody to go, well, that's Mike. He's a Bigfoot and he's just a jag-off and let's let him be. No, I'm trying to fix it.
But people are only going to say that. Whether you throw the wallet across the floor, across the room, or toss it in the air and sigh over something ridiculous, the reaction is going to be the same. So what's the point of doing it in the first place?
I don't like being told what to do.
How's that working out for you?
Well, I had to sign my card.
You mean the one you need to sign to legally use it?
Want to hear the best part of that?
Yeah.
Pen didn't work. It's the only pen she had, so it's got like the loop in my N and the loop in the S. And she still took it. She fucking took it, dude.
Yeah.
Even with my signature not on it, just a couple of loops. I'm more than a couple of loops. I'm more than loops. But she fucking took it. And part of me wanted, and don't think part of me didn't want to go, my fucking signature's not even on here now, and you still took it. You just wanted to make me make the fucking effort. All you want to do is make me bow to your fucking power, Speedy McZip Code. All you want to do is make me fucking go ahead and kowtow to you in your blue shirt behind your fucking scale. Tell me, I just want to get t-shirts to the masses. Can I just get t-shirts to the masses?
Now go get me a stamp.
Let me hold on to my girlfriend's hand while you go ahead and find my mail in my P.O. box here in fucking Postcard Town. Here, I got a letter to Santa.
In Postcard Town.
Dude. So I reckon, and look, I'm not, again.
Yeah, I'm not trying to put you on the couch. I'm just saying, man.
Well, I'll be
lot
on
of
a
it
couch, but I'm
sounds
on a
weird.
couch. I put myself on a fucking couch. You know what I mean? Dude, I told you I drive around and by myself in the car talking shit out, going, you shouldn't worry about that. You shouldn't get upset about that. You shouldn't get mad about that. Trying to figure it out, trying to stop.
Has Shannon ever brought the suggestion up of medication?
No, my first one did. I told you that story.
I was told, that therapy is great on its own. Medication can be great on its own, but when you combine the two, it's way more effective.
I don't need any fucking
Yeah,
aspirin.
you do.
I don't?
No, you need something.
What do I need?
Remember I told you about the ups and downs, the peaks?
Yes.
If you narrow those down a little bit, you'll find that you won't do the things that you're doing that freak your girlfriend out. And the bottom line, isn't that the whole point?
Well, yeah, I want her to stay.
Well, in order to do that, maybe you take the edge off the top and the bottom. Maybe
But don't you love my edges?
Oh, I do.
Doesn't everyone think to
Yes,
themselves, God, that's
exactly.
awesome? Wouldn't it be cool if we could be that guy
If
who
I was
got mad at a
if-
sink and punched an old
Yeah,
guy?
exactly. If I was a fan and I listened to the show, I mean, this guy's nuts. I love this guy.
This guy Clarence.
This guy's crazy. I love this Clarence guy. He's crazy.
Yeah, but then you
it's
fucking,
great.
Unless you're holding my hand and walking through your fucking hometown and everybody's going, that fucking dude. Who's that
unless
black
it's the-
cloud you're with?
Yeah, unless it's the guy that you've known for 35 years, and you're like, I'm trying. Well, you're still doing it though. I'm trying.
But not all the time. You knew me, and you knew when I used to do it all the fucking time. And now I've grabbed one of the reins. One of the horses is still fucking going crazy.
Yes.
But now my stagecoach goes in fucking circles instead of just straightforward out of control.
But if I can go really, really guru on you,
Let's do it.
I'm gonna drop this on you.
Done.
Do you ever? Are you familiar? I know you hate the movies themselves, but the trilogy Star Wars.
I thought you meant I hated movies. I'm like,
No,
wait a minute,
the
what is
movies-
it? I hate the movies?
Yeah, you hate the movie. You hate everything.
And that's, first of all, that's a lie.
Yeah.
I love the old Star Wars.
No, I'm
Empire
talking. I
Return
know you
and all
don't like
that.
the Sith and the Revenge of the.
I didn't care for them.
All right, but you're Anakin Skywalker. You know how Anakin Skywalker was? He was so afraid that the premonitions he kept getting about what's her name,
Padma.
Natalie Portman. She was going to die.
Padma Lakshmi.
He was going to lose her. He was going to lose her. So he did everything he could so that wouldn't happen. In order to do that, he went to the dark side because they had like cool special dark side powers
Yes.
that could prevent him from losing her. And that's all he cared about was not losing her. And what happened? By him getting those powers, he killed her. Do you see that? You follow that?
Well, yeah, but I don't like what you're saying.
But that's what this looks like. You're so intent on not losing, but everything you're doing is gonna.
But it's not everything I'm doing. I've made so many strides.
I'm not saying you haven't made strides. Therapy's good.
You're saying I'm going to kill Jill.
No, I'm not saying you're going
That's
to
what it
kill
sounded
Jill.
like. You said
I don't mean literally. I mean, if you're afraid someone's going to leave you, and in order to stop that person from leaving you, you do these things that in the end will cause them to leave.
But I've come around on that too. I've done a lot better with that, being afraid and all that horseshit and worrying but it still shows up. But I mean, that's just, you know what's funny? That just manifests itself because you're old and you have.
You have what?
There's the unknown. You know what I mean? You don't know what's going to happen. So you try.
That's Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah. Well, there's the unknown. I don't know what the fuck's going to happen. So I'm trying to control it and do the best I can to make sure that things don't fucking go the way I don't want them to.
Yes, but at some point, if you smother somebody with the "don't leave me" thing, or not "don't leave me," I don't mean I'm on black and white as that, but if you're trying so hard to prevent something you don't even know is going to happen from happening, the effort alone is going to cause the discord.
Well, all it is, and the thing is, it's not even really about, it's not about Jill. It's about me. And that's why I'm trying hard to change who I am so she will see that I'm worthy enough to stay with. But at the same time, I know that I'm so, I got stuff and problems and things like that.
Everybody
and so you're like,
does.
dude, well, of course, yeah, but all I can control is my own.
Well, again, I only know from experience. I have that up and down thing to the extremes, all or nothing thinking. And I started taking a medication, mild, but it's working because, Kristen tolerates me. She was very good at tolerating me. I'd go off. I'm not like you where I get like outwardly physical, like punching something.
Yeah.
Or, my anger was all within, and that's dangerous.
Well, I'll fume too. I'll do that thing where you sit in silence.
Yeah, I'm the guy that you don't see. There's no noise, no external thing. But it's still bad.
Mm-hmm.
But I realized, I got kids now, and the parents are the kids' role model. That's what they are, whether you want to be or not. That's who they see. So I got to be a better person. So in order to do that, I finally just said, look, put me on the medicine, see what happens. They put me on the medicine, and I've been on it for a while, and it's not like a magic pill where you take it and all of a sudden you feel all happy and everything. It's just one of those things where you realize the focal point of your anger disappears like that. What am I really mad? I'm not mad at anything. So the lady asking me to sign my card, I wouldn't even sigh. I'd be like, oh, yeah, so, I think it's stupid, but I'll do it. Where before I would have done what you done. That little sigh, roll your eyes, toss your wallet. That goes away. It doesn't change you as a person. It just takes the edges, the peaks and the valleys, and narrows them down a little bit. So the thing that might have triggered you before, somebody telling you what to do, you don't get so obsessed with it. You don't get so focused on it. And it slides off you faster in the moment, and you don't piss your girlfriend off.
And on the main stage, gnocchi tots. Oh! The show went from fun to bleak in like a fucking blink.
Sorry.
That was a bleak blink.
Hey, why we're being serious? I also have to apologize. I don't have to apologize. I don't know. You tell me. I've been looking at my Facebook posts, and I realize that not everybody knows that we're members of the UN of Evil and we bust each other's balls a lot.
Well, I'll be honest with you, I forget it sometimes.
That's the thing that I have to remember is that there was a while back when I first joined Facebook where I'd bust your balls about something just like Dennis would or Dave. We just
like we would do in person.
Exactly. And then I found that people, not everybody, there's a minority of people on Facebook that think it's funny to do that, and they think it's open mic night. And I'm like, I told you that one time. I go, dude, I got to stop commenting on your posts because all I'm doing is encouraging other people who don't even really know you to start making fun of your shirt or calling you a goof. I go, and you told me then, don't do that. Be yourself. Just be yourself. And I'm like, all right, I'll be myself. And lately I've been realizing, I go, you guys all know I'm kidding, right? Because it's on Facebook. I'm kidding. I don't really mean go get a room is not meant in a mean way. It's
right.
I mean it to be funny.
Yeah. But you've known me 35 years.
Yeah, and
so even knowing me 35 years,
yeah.
when you make fun of my Australian accent, I flinch. I won't lie. I mean, seriously, I'll see it and I'll just be like, "Ee."
But
And then
you-
I'm like, well, don't you realize that you're not telling everybody else, okay, it's fun to say how bad I am at that?
That's the fine line I'm riding. Do I go back to the days when I wanted to kill everyone that was open miking you, that doesn't even know you?
Exactly.
I block those people. I don't want to deal with them. They're gone. And do I stop or do I be my? I would do the same thing to Dennis. I would do the same thing to Dave or Jimmy or the big guy. But I forget. You're not. You got fans. You're like a famous dude.
I'm a public figure to a certain extent.
You remember in The Sopranos when Steve Buscemi got out of jail and he started busting Tony's balls?
Yeah.
Like when they were little?
Yeah.
And everybody looked at him like, you can't talk to Tony Soprano like that. I realized that maybe that's how this is coming across.
Well, so there are people waiting for the door to be open. Certainly, you know what I mean.
But that's
Or they
the
want
thing.
to come in and they're like, "Yeah, you are a dick." You know what I mean? He didn't even say I was a dick.
No.
Wait a minute.
He is a dick, but he's our dick.
I can't believe anybody would even say that.
Oh, dude, stop.
There's a Mike. There's no way you're going to get boned on this, mate. It's going to be a problem. And you need to go ahead and you need to step up and tell him they're making these memes. He's putting these memes out on you, and that's wrong.
You're tearing me apart.
It's so wrong that he'd make this meme about you because you're totally nailing this accent. If he only knew Dave, you should just tell him it wasn't even you. You had Dave in studio, and Dave was doing the voice.
Maybe Dave has like speech problems.
No, Dave dominates.
You're doing a great. Maybe you're doing.
I'm doing a killer Dave.
If you're doing a fantastic Dave, then my problem is with Dave.
It's
and
not
with
bad.
it. Yeah.
And what I also liked was when you buzz, because again, you buzz my balls. I'm like, fuck, dude, it wasn't bad. I thought it was okay. I'm not a voice guy, but I mean,
You know what it is? That's a hard accent to do.
it is.
And what makes it harder is the longer you extend it,
It's a very difficult accent to do. I know it's a difficult accent to do, but if I pull it off and I keep doing it, it's okay. I'm nailing it. Right? No, I don't.
See,
I'm not going to listen.
You just stopped when you quit when you were ahead. That first sentence was good. That's the problem. You want to tell an entire story in the voice, you're going to lose it.
I'm a one-sentence impressionist.
All right. So for the record, Get a Room is just silly. I'm just being silly. It's funny to me because it's funny to me that everybody's posting. Oh, I just like throwing that weird thing in there. That's got nothing to do with anybody personally. So just know that. I just feel bad about it because sometimes I look at it and go, I keep forgetting he's got a real fan. He's got fans.
Well, and it's also weird because you just started being on here, so people knew you in the abstract. They were like the mechs, who made the artwork and the music, and you were in the spots. But now that they hear you talk and you're like a real person, I think it makes them kind of they become emboldened a little bit. You know what I mean?
Well, that's my fear because real fans should already know what I just said. They already know that. Yeah. It's the guys that are going, like you said, he does look stupid in that shirt.
Yeah, you are fat.
No,
wait, what?
Yeah, no, that's not what I meant. You got what did the Eagles, the band, the Eagles, their manager, what's his name? He's a famous manager. They thanked him. When they thanked him, he goes, "He may be Satan, but he's our Satan." That's how I view us, and sometimes I forget that it's not. I can't put the same things on your page that I'd put on Dennis's or Jimmy's or one of the guys.
Well, you can, but you might get 8 people who come in and go, you fuck Mike.
Yeah, I know, and that's what I got to remember. I got to stop doing that because then again, those people are in the minority, and most of them I cut loose.
Yeah,
I can't even remember.
Well, I have to go through and delete comments sometimes and stuff, and I never used to do that. It's funny,
and that's why it makes me want to stop being me on your Facebook page.
I don't fight with ghosts. I don't, you know what I mean? If someone's really kind of shitty, I mean, if somebody says something that I'll just go, I just whack it. I don't even fucking think twice about it. But I mean, it's social media, whatever the fuck, you know what I mean?
So when I go on the page, if I'm on the website or the Facebook page, the friend, and a name is on there that's in black type, that means I blocked them or they blocked me, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't see their thing that they can't see you.
I might have done that, I think, to some people.
Okay. I know I have.
Well, yeah, I'm just not used to back when you first started the podcast, I had no tolerance for that. Somebody said one bad thing, boom, gone.
See, I have blocked 3 people on Facebook that I know of.
Yeah.
And I blocked 2 of them because I was asked to block them. But one person I blocked on purpose. I did.
Okay.
And that was our friend. I won't even say his name, but it was a guy who came in and for some reason just attacked me on the Facebook page, and then you and I made a meme out of him. And
that's right. We made the pretend Facebook feedback memes about Did you not enjoy your experience with?
With
Yeah,
this
that's
dude?
pretty
Yeah.
funny.
He was the guy I blocked.
All right.
Yeah, it was yeah. So
I can't even remember I remember why. I just can't remember who. I don't remember their names. I really.
well, that
don't.
dude had attacked. That guy had threatened to shoot me in the head on Twitter.
Wow.
He literally he was going to put a bullet in my head. He said, "I'm going to put a
Yeah.
bullet in your skull." And then I just, because he was in Cambodia or something, and I was like,
seemed like a fun thing to do.
well, I had posted a sunset, and me and Paul Gilmartin was there, and I was like, I said, good thing America owns the sun. Take that, third worlders. It was just silly.
Yeah.
And he's just like, you arrogant, fat, fucking American or whatever. And I was
Yeah.
just like, I said, you should probably watch it, or I may have
Yeah.
my God smite you. And like, just like,
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
all
you were-
dumb.
yeah, it was
and but he
silly.
was getting madder and madder, and then he's like, I'm just going to come there and fucking shoot you in the head.
Okay.
And I'm like, and I just wrote back, well, this is no longer joking. Goodbye. And I just blocked him. It was like, but you know, that's what people do. They don't fucking think. you
Yeah,
know?
but I always admire. At the time, I was like, dude, axe these people, and you're just like, I'm not gonna axe anybody.
Fuck no.
Yeah.
I don't care.
That's the difference between you as a civilian and a UN of evil member, and you as Mike Schmidt, podcasting genius.
Yeah, half of that
So,
is true.
yeah.
Yesterday, I'm in Wisconsin, and you know, after having a long talk with the people at the post office and negotiating the fact that I can come back and still use it, they
didn't
were
ban you
okay.
from the post office?
No, they didn't. I had to talk to them about peaches for about 45 minutes, but other than that, we were fine. We had a big.
How was Miss Anderson?
Some pair
Yeah.
discussions.
Did you hear what happened at the post office?
Jill and I went out. We were at the Wisconsin State Fair yesterday, David. And I know it's because again, that's nothing I would do.
It's nothing anybody should do.
But again, I'm going to say like it's like when we went for a walk.
Yeah.
I would do anything with Jill.
Sure.
I don't care. If my hand's in hers, I am having fun no matter where the fuck I am. It's just I'm in love. So we go to the fair, but we went for a purpose. I should tell you this. First of all, we park, we walk, we get in there.
Elephant ear?
Though they were there,
All right. Pickle on a stick?
they had those.
All right.
I
Guys
actually
with no teeth?
Plenty.
Bad arms?
Oh my God, it's a couple of bad wings. Terrible.
Stumpy fingers?
We walked into the fucking pig barn, dude. We got in there. And Jill just takes my hand. She leads me in there. And it's like, and dude, have you ever, like, I know what pigs are, okay? And I've seen them on
Good.
television.
Yeah.
And I may have been to, like, Lamb's Farm, you know,
Yeah.
with me and a bunch of fucking retarded kids, and we're petting guys on the head or whatever the fuck. But there was, but the pig barn, dude, it's like for show. They bring them out for, like, a dance and stuff.
Pig dance?
Yeah, dude, and they make them walk around, and they get the little switch there, like, you know. And they got their and it's just, but dude, I got to tell you this, the smell.
Yeah, that's bad.
Well, I mean, because I've been to the zoo, and it's like that. There's that smell.
I
That's
got a
just,
worse smell, animal smell, but go ahead.
Okay, I mean, but I couldn't even describe it. You know, it smelled like hot vomit. I mean, that's what it smelled like. Like someone, but like someone filled a Dutch oven with it and cooked it to like permeate. Like it
Yeah,
was just.
it was everywhere.
Yeah, it smelled like because again, there's hay, and wood chips and pig. So it smelled like somebody shit in a bowl of potpourri. And then used that to cook a pork chop. I mean, it was just fucking gruesome. It was so bad, dude. And I mean, and Jill's walking me through, and it was cool to see the pigs because they're. I mean, you don't see them up close. You just see them on TV or whatever
Yeah.
the fuck. And they're huge. They're fucking huge.
Did she grab your hand and think, Mike's going to love this?
Of course she did. But again, with her, she's a yes, and that's the thing is she's a yes. Like I can take her anywhere, and
Oh, I
she's like,
know,
yeah,
I
this is
know.
awesome.
But to me, telling somebody, hey, I want you to watch Terminator with me is a little different than, hey, let's go see some pigs.
But see, I'm on board with
That's
it, man.
I'm
Because
just
I
saying.
love the zoo. You know me.
You know me.
You know I love the zoo.
You do like the zoo?
God, are you kidding me? I told you that's the best place for a first date ever. And
unless
you don't have to worry about that because you're entrenched. But if someone's gonna have,
I never thought of taking my girlfriend to the zoo when I was 17.
no, it's the best first date.
Yeah,
ever,
no,
dude.
I take the kids and.
No, you go and because you can walk and talk.
I know.
And
Yeah.
see stuff happening. It's like you get a whole day together, and then if you hit it off, you can go, hey, let's go out tonight. Let's either go to a movie or go to dinner or just whatever. Because I mean, you learned more about each other in the daytime, and then you can have a night date.
You learn what she likes to smell and what she doesn't like to smell. Pachyderm house? Nope.
Nope, out.
Bears? Okay.
But we went to so we're in that with the pigs and they were loud as fuck. And it's just what's funnier to me is them looking at the pigs to watch kids looking at the pigs just with that because again a lot of these kids it's Wisconsin so there's some Aggie kids who like fucking they know all about it but then there's these kids who are just they're like city kids from Milwaukee or Madison and they're just staring at it like
They have pig wonderment.
that's That's exactly what they have.
I've heard
and,
about that.
They're staring at it. They're like, that's not what's on my CNC.
Yeah.
That is not it at all, because it's just gross and going to the
hairy
bathroom and
and- yeah.
nasty and laying there and loud. Oh, terrible. So we walked through there, and then they had a barn, and it said swine and goats. And I looked at Jill, and I go, do they have internet goats? And she's like, what is that?
Like
and
happy
I go, that's
jumping goats.
yeah, the guys who jump around and
Yeah.
hit guys. I go, I totally want to see that.
Yeah.
She goes, we'll go in there, honey. And I go, no, I totally want to see like internet goats. And she's like, all right, hold on, because we were there for a particular reason. We got to the fair at 1:00 because at 2:30 in the afternoon,
You wanted to have sex by the pigs.
that was at 2.
All right. I was just assuming that it was all going to be a sex story.
Oh, well, at 2:00,
All right, I'm
I'm
sorry.
biting her, certainly.
All right, okay.
At 2:30, there is biting going on. As I mentioned, we get to biting later in the show. 2:30 in the afternoon, 5 foot something else, Joe Bublitz is involved in the jalapeno eating contest.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yes,
she
sir.
likes the peppers.
She does. And she was in this contest a few years ago. She skipped last year. She was in it 2 years ago, and she said they brought out the jalapenos, and they opened a can. It's like they're the marinated jalapenos.
Yeah.
But, dude, they're fucking gigantic.
Yeah.
Like, because I was like little jalapenos, dude. I was thinking I would just bite and swallow. Like, you don't chew them at all, just fucking go down. So she was in it a few years ago, and they had the little small ones, and I think she ate 18
Oh, Jesus.
and killed it, man. And that was in 5 minutes. So, or 4 minutes, I think it was. So then 2 years ago, they brought them out, and she said she couldn't believe how huge they were. And she ate 11 in 3 minutes. 3 minutes. So then she took the last year off. But she told me this year, she goes, I'm in. I'm absolutely doing it. I go, all right. We're in fucking training. I said, we're going to fucking Balboa it, and you're going to do it. We're going to chase a chicken around the goddamn fair, and you're going to be ready to go. So the night before, she's like, I'm a little nervous about tomorrow. I go, why are you nervous? You're going to go in and crush it. I go, what's the number we're looking at? And she goes, and I thought she was going to say 18 because that was her initial high with the small ones. She goes, 25. And I went, goddamn right, it's 25. I'm like, I'm on board. And she goes, I don't think I can do 25, but I'd love to do 25. I go, look, the barometer is 18. But that was small ones. I go, right now, all you got to beat is 11. Because it's these gigantic marinated ones with a ton of juice. I go, if you beat 11, you're fucking rocking. She's like, all right, cool. So we go there, we find the fair, and we get in this fucking, it was in the World Cafe tent. And when we showed up early, and there's a fucking fake Houdini on stage.
Fake Houdini.
And it's like, I'm going to perform a tribute to Houdini, and he brings kids on stage, and then he hides them in a plexiglass box, and then there's a fucking blade and a velvet rope, and it was just terrible. One of those terrible, we're watching it from the side. She and I are just trying to post photos of her on Facebook, and I'm getting no service, and I'm like, you know why? Fucking Houdini stole it off her his Wi-Fi trick.
I'll make your Wi-Fi disappear.
So, and he'd bring his wife's his assistant, and I'm like, he's like, haha, here is my wife. And I'm like, you know what you could do as a trick? Make her black roots disappear. That would be fantastic. Because she had a stripy head, and it was not good.
Stripy head.
So bad. So she comes on, and she does a twirl. And by a twirl, I mean a galumph, because she was kind of a big girl. And so he does his stuff. And she looks at me, and she's like, I'm nervous. And I go, why are you nervous? I go, you're going to crush this. But the thing is, from the first time she did it, it was at the fair. It was almost like they went, hey, who wants to be in a jalapeno eating contest? And people were like, me.
Yeah.
Well, now they have fucking qualifying heats all around her house. She tells me, she goes, there's guys who are already in. They've gone to like 5 different qualifying heats. I go, well, did you compete in those? She goes, no, I'm just going to sign up. I go, well, they let you do that? She goes, well, they did the last couple of years. I go, you know why they're going to let you do it? I said, because you're a 5 foot tall hot girl. That's why. I go, because there's going to be a bunch of dudes with fucking juice all over their face, and you're going to be the novelty. Even if you're not even the qualifier, they will find a fucking chair for you because you are in a dress and you're gorgeous. And she's just like, you think? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. And she's like, shut up. And I'm like, no, seriously. She goes, well, they'll let me sign up. I'm sure they'll let me sign up. So Houdini finishes, and then he takes fucking, I'll tell you what, his act was so terrible, but then it took longer for him to clear the stage. Yeah. And also, I should tell you this too. Houdini's doing his act, and he's like, all right, I'm going to do this. It's the mystifying bubble, or whatever the fuck. And then he goes, and he points, and his wife hits the little boom box with a microphone in front of it. You know that tinny, horrible sound? And it's just that, you will remember me for centuries. And I'm like, oh, of course you picked that song. That song is so bad. As much as I love the Fall Out Boy Uma Thurman song, that Century song is the worst. So he played that, and then he also, I think, Bad to the Bone played, whatever. It was awful. So his soundtrack was terrible. He finishes, he's cleaning up, and we're sitting there. And the last few years, they've had a Mexican dude as their MC. And he's been like, oh, who wants to eat the jalapenos? And he's got he's killing it. She goes, I loved the MC. So they start setting it up, and it turns out not only were there heats to qualify, but the fucking ESPN station is sponsoring this thing. So
The Ocho.
they put on signs, ESPN 540, and they say any qualifiers need to come over and check in. So I said, honey, you got to go over there.
Yeah.
And she's like, "What?" I go over. She's like, "Yeah, I'm going to sign up." And I go, "Well, get over there quick." So she goes over, and she comes back with a packet, and she goes, "They told me they're full." I said, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "Well, I told them, I've signed up, and they said they were qualifying heats, and it's full." And she said, "Well, I've signed up at the fair the last 3 years. I've done it here." And the woman said, "Well, you're supposed to go to a qualifying heat." And she goes, "Well, I never knew that. I've signed up." And the woman goes, "Okay, honey, here you go." And I said, "Of course she did, because you're totally small and a novelty." So they give her the packet. She fills it out. She turns it in. The MC from ESPN was fucking terrible. It was just some guy. It was obviously a guy who works at the station who did not want to be there in the sun counting jalapeno stems. He was a dick. And he was just like, "Yeah, this is kind of gross, huh? Well, I guess these people are going to eat these jalapenos." It's like, no, dude, you got to embrace it. You got to go over the fucking top. You have to really be like, these guys are going to eat, that sort of thing. Well, then they set up the tables, and they set up all the water and the milk, and these fucking jalapenos are gigantic, stacked on a plate. And I'm looking at Jill, and I got my hand in her stomach, and I'm like, "This is it. This is the year you take these guys down. These fucking guys can't handle you." And she's like, "Honey, you're such a good coach." And I'm like, "I am." I go, you know what? Let me come on stage with you and just stand behind you with my arms crossed, just like a fucking weird bodyguard. I go, "That'd be fucking hysterical." I go, "Next year we get me, and we'll bring another dude, and we'll stand behind you with our arms crossed and just fucking like we're security detail, because that's what you should do. We should embrace this fucking thing."
She should wear a cape.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like a fucking weird mask.
Yeah.
Awesome. So they called the names, and the guy says her name wrong, of course, Jill Bublitz, which is the way I first said it. And she walks on stage, and of course, because all these fucking brutes get on stage in their sandals with their cigarettes, and then she goes walking up the steps, and every guy just starts whistling, you know what I mean? And just the cat calls, like, "Woohoo, yeah!" And they're whistling, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, "That's my girlfriend, I love her, I can't wait to punch everybody in the face." But actually, I was more proud. I was really excited, because I told her, I go, "These guys are going to go crazy when you take the stage." And they did. So she sat down, and she goes to her chair. She goes, "Where do you want me to sit?" And she was going to sit on the end. And there was a dude sitting next to her, but he had taken her chair and set up like a box of supplies. And she looks at him, she's like, "Can I sit here?" And he just kind of nodded really softly, and he took it over. He sets up a fucking GoPro camera. He sets up a timer. He sets up 3 cups of his own chocolate milk
These
that
are
he brought.
competitive eater guys.
Well, this dude, because again, the rest of them are all just kind of sitting there.
Yeah.
They got a fucking Lucky Strike in their mouths, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Bring on the jalapenos, I'm fat." But this dude is sleek and thin, and he's standing up. Everybody else sits down. This guy stands up. Jill sits next to him. They bring the plates. They're ready to count it down, and they're like, "Uno, dos, tres, catorce."
14?
Yeah, well, it's from the U2 song. So he says catorce, and everybody goes. And I'm filming. I filmed the contest. So the best part is that guy's next to her. I'm filming Jill, and Jill, this dude is next to her. He's dunking jalapenos like in the milk, and then he puts them in his mouth, and he bites 2 at a time, and then he's fucking he's a fucking machine, dude. But the best part is he's next to her doing that. She's sitting down, and she's eating them like she's in a fucking 5-star restaurant. She's like chomp, and she like holds it up, and she's very dainty and elegant, and because she's a tiny girl, and she's eating them. But I'm not counting. I'm just filming, and I'm like, "Yeah, dude." But this dude is a blur. You can't fucking see anything but him just going to work, and her next to him just like she's Pepe Le Pew. She's fucking Pepe Le Pew as she eats the goddamn jalapenos, just one bite, one bite, one bite. But she's making it work.
Yeah.
So this guy is killing it. He's crushing. People are going crazy, and finally it finishes. It's 3 minutes, the most you can eat in 3 minutes. So this dude, because he has no sense at all of the dramatic, starts with the guy who was standing up.
Yeah.
He goes, "All right, I'm going to count yours." He goes, "Oh my God, there's like goo and stuff all over your table. Did you throw up? This is really gross." I'm like, "Dude, you're the MC. You're supposed to make it sound fucking awesome. I hate you." So he starts counting that guy's stems. Now, the guy who had won back-to-back years had eaten 33 last year to win. 33 big fucking jalapenos.
Yeah.
They're essentially the size of hot dogs.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
talking about. He starts counting this dude's stems, and he's going, and he's going, and he just keeps going and keeps going. This dude ate 40 jalapenos.
Wow.
40. And he's standing there he's got it, it's on his face,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
he's he brought his own wet naps. That's how much fucking this guy was in. And
Pepper bib.
and Jill she looked disappointed to me. Like she kind of shook her head even when she was
Yeah.
finished eating. I'm like, I don't know why, she ate 11 the last time, but
Yeah.
she just didn't feel it this time because they're big and rubbery and it's tough to eat them. And so the guy goes because then Jill's next. He's going to count her bowl, and it's like you've already ruined it by going with the guy with 40 right off the bat. And he starts counting Jill's stems, and he's like 11, and I was like, all right, she ate, and then 12, 13, 14. She fucking ate 14, dude. 2 years ago, she ate 11, then she took a year off. These are gigantic. She's so small. It was fucking amazing.
They drug test her?
They've thought about it, I'm sure.
I was going to say, that's a red flag right there.
She fucking mowed right through them. Because that's what I said. I looked at her and I go, you increased your fucking output by 1/3. Do you realize that? She's like, you did the math? I go, of course I did the math. I go, next year we take this motherfucker down, damn it.
We go pro.
Absolutely. You're going on the circuit. So, and then they went through, and she was still kind of like, she was happy that she beat hers, but then they counted 3 other guys had 14.
Yeah.
A couple of guys had 16. One guy had 18. Another guy had 23. Another guy had 30. One guy had 36. But she was right in there.
She was in there with the. Yeah.
She was so happy after they counted because again, like, and she beat 2 guys.
Yeah.
And then she tied 2 guys, and a couple of other guys finished ahead of her. But she was the only. There was only one other woman on the stage, and that woman ate 16. But that woman could be seen from space. So I mean, she doesn't really fucking count. If she had a blue shirt on and a boat tried to pull up. I mean, it was that fucking crazy.
You're a fattest.
Yeah, oh please, dude, that's why I don't wear blue. But sure enough, so that was the only other chick in the contest. But man, Jill, she crushed it, dude. And she walked off stage, and she chugged milk, she had a couple of milks, and she came to sit with me, and I hugged her, and I was like, oh my god, honey, that
Probably
was
not
so
a good
perfect.
idea to hug her.
No, well, not hard.
All right.
I put my arms around her, and I go, are you okay? She goes, I'm fine. She goes, it's not burning. She goes, my mouth didn't start burning till it ended. Mm-hmm. She goes, but honey. And she took my hand. Mm-hmm. She put it on her fucking tiny baby stomach. Mm-hmm. And at some point, she had swallowed 5 bocce balls. Like, I don't know how they... Somehow...
Those things will grow into each other.
Her stomach was so hard. Like, it was like she... Yeah, it was like, you know what? It was like she was pregnant with the Thing.
Pepper Thing.
She had a belly full of rocks. It was fucking awesome. So she put my hand on it, and I'm squeezing, and I was like, honey. And she's like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. And she's like, it's so weird. And I don't know if it was just the 3 more, but she wasn't ready for it, because when she did the 11, she said it wasn't like that.
Is that where the phrase pepper belly came from?
It might. It could be.
That's just weird.
But she's just wearing this gorgeous dress and fucking open-toe sandals, and she's sexy as hell, and she's got that little fucking belly full of rocks, and I'm like, oh my God, you are the hottest thing going. Do you know that? You are the hottest fucking thing going. And then we walked the rest of the fair. We walk over, and there's like, they had deep fried peanut butter and jelly, which I fucking choked down. That was good. They had a deep fried peanut butter and jelly. So that's the only deep fried thing, because we're going back to the fair this week, because I didn't see the goats. But I'll tell you more about the fair next week. But how are we on the disc?
You got about 10 minutes.
10? All right. So I'll tell you. I got to tell you this then. We went and saw pig racing. And she looks at me and she goes, you want to go see the pig races? And I said, yes. And then we get in and we sit down.
You only go for the crashes. Hoping there's an accident.
Yeah, I can't wait for them to wipe out in the retaining wall.
This is boring. Would somebody please crash?
Somebody severe. And so I sit down next to her and I'm holding my hand. And it's, it's 85 degrees at the fair. It's sunny. And she's got a belly full of rocks, and I'm holding on to her, and there's kind of a breeze, and I'm sitting there, and there's a guy named Pork Chop in overalls on the microphone, and he's got his boy Hambone, and they're lighting it up, and they bring out fucking what was it? 2 pork swine core, yeah, and fucking Tammy Faye Bake Ham or whatever the fuck. They bring them all out. Snoop Hoggy Hog. And they're bringing them out for the race, and I looked at her.
Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, it should have been. But this will make you laugh. Kevin Bacon. We were watching Footloose at her house, and we just watched the last like half hour of it. And he did that thing where he was like, "There should be more male nudity in films." And she's like, "Yeah." I go, "Yeah, of course, Kevin Bacon would feel like that." And she goes, "Why?" And I go, "Because he's got a big cock." And she goes, how do you know this?
I've asked you that many times. How do you know people?
Because he's in a movie.
Right.
He's in Wild Things, and he's in the shower, and he turns around to face the camera. And it was a big deal at the time because there was no male nudity. And they're like, well, of course, he didn't mind doing it because of that. And she just looks at me, and she just looks back at the television, and we're talking. And then Chris Penn comes on, and I said, you know who that is? And she goes, does he have a big cock? I said, I wouldn't know.
That's big cock Chris Penn.
Yeah, you know who that is. So we go to the pig racing, and they... Again, it's ham bone and pork chop and little piglets in a fucking container, and they're gonna run around the track in hay, and I can smell it, and I even said out loud, I go, I have no idea how my life got here. And she said, what do you mean? And I said, well, I love you so much, and I'm so happy to be here with you, but if you would have told me a year ago that I would be sitting at an open out air arena watching pig racing, and enjoying myself, I would have laughed in your fucking face. And she just went, yeah, well, this is your life now. And I'm like, yes, it is. I'm an honorary Wisconsin dude. Next thing you know, again, orange and shotgun and fucking duck blind. It's going to happen. It's going to fucking happen. But it was amazing just to see her win that contest and to do so well. And then we made our way to the car, and I had it was fantastic. It was so fun. So the lesson is, if I'm in Wisconsin, take me to the fair.
Cut me some slack.
Don't take me to the post office. You guys can get me at Mike at MikeSchmidtComedy.com. You guys can be my friend at Facebook.com/the40year-old-boy. You can find me on Twitter at Twitter.com/the40year-old-boy. The producer of this show is Lily Von Stupp. She is busy now with the Hollywood Burlesque Festival. You can get tickets for that at Brown Paper Tickets or go to HollywoodBurlesqueFestival.com. That's coming up this week. You should go and attend and have fun and go and check out all of the events. She's working very, very hard making it happen. So please go and support her. You can be her friend at Facebook.com/Lily Von Stupp. You can go to several different Twitter accounts, Twitter.com/Lily Von Stupp, Twitter.com/MNTs, and Twitter.com/HollywoodBQFest. But if you'd like to write her a personal note and ask her how she feels with me not yelling at her at the youngest building in Hollywood, you can get her at Lily at burlesque411.com. That's Lily, Lili, at burlesque411.com. My great friend David Hernandez is here. I'm in his basement. I guess he would be here.
I hope so.
You can find him at artbydmh.com. That's ARTBYDMH.com. Before you do that, go to Facebook.com/David Mex Hernandez and become his friend. That's David Mex Hernandez, not Davey.
Not Davey.
Not Dave.
Not Dave.
Facebook.com/David Mex Hernandez. Go and be his friend. And go to artbydmh.com. Let me ask you, are the Valscapes available?
They're available. You can get me through Facebook. They're coming fast and furious. I've done a bunch of landscapes ahead of time and just let the boy look at them. And
let's describe them really quickly. David's done landscapes. So they're paintings of landscapes. And then he's let my godson Val finish them with whatever suggestion he wants to come up with.
So I've taken the Bob Ross approach to these. They're just really quick little sketch paintings almost of Bob Ross, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, the guy with the hair.
Happy Little Trees.
Yeah. Well, the Happy Little Trees paintings are, they're kind of lame. I think, I like Bob Ross. I like the style. It's a cool style of art. Not for me per se, but I've done these.
He's dead and he's not listening. Go ahead. And
but I don't want to knock the guy because the guy, he made art accessible to people that normally wouldn't paint. So I've taken these Bob Ross style paintings and I've let Val say, well, it'd be funny here if you put a bear sword fighting another guy with a sword, like stuff kids say. And I said, all right, let's see what it looks like. And it looks right over there. Yeah. So I haven't gotten them on my website yet, but and they're all for sale if anybody's weird enough to want to put something like that up, which I think is kind of funny.
So if you go to artbydmh.com, you'll see a lot of his previous work, and then you'll see the Gaikons that he has for sale, and you can commission him to do personal work for you, anything you can think of. Yeah. But if you go to Facebook.com/David Mex Hernandez, and they also appear on my timeline, my page at Facebook, you will go ahead and you can see the examples of the ones he's already done. You can bid on those and buy those.
Sure.
And if he's got more coming, there's always more in the pipeline, because believe me, if I know my godson, he's going to be suggesting them until he's fucking 40 years old.
Yeah, he's out there.
That's good. So I'm glad. And please remember, you go to MikeSchmidtComedy.com and you can go to the Joe Business page. We've got download sets for sale, year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, year 6. Hey, how's that artwork coming for year 7?
Am I really the reason we don't have that for sale?
Yes.
I thought it was a matter of talking to Ryan and getting that squared away.
He's ready. Whenever you've got
all
artwork.
right. Well, yeah, we're good.
He mentioned Ryan. Ryan Dirks is the guy that does all of our web work, and you can find him at Facebook.com/Ryan Dirks. But yeah, we'll have year 7 available eventually.
Okay, yeah, I can do that. We had the concept. I just got to finish it.
Exactly. And also the Big Angry CD is available. That actually came out 2 years ago around this month or something like that, if I remember correctly. So go check that out. The Big Angry CD is available. T-shirts are available, your dirt shirts, and I have a couple of spare cities, as I mentioned earlier in the show. And we've got of course, use our Amazon link, please. Go through that, buy anything you want at Amazon, and we get credit for that.
Can you see what people buy?
People do write me, and actually I do. I actually can go on Amazon.
I think our last purchase we went through the portal.
Okay.
So if you see like boxing hand wraps and like a guide to making punji sticks, that's us.
Well, it could be you. It could be anybody who listens to this fucking show.
I mean together.
Oh, I see. All right. So if you use our Amazon link, yes, I do get to see it, but I don't get to see who bought it.
I see.
Yeah, but thank you so much for anything that you do, and we appreciate you thinking of us. People do all the time, and that's great. Remember, Tweaked Audio is our friend. You can go ahead and buy stuff from them. They've got audio erotic asphyxiation earbuds. They've got cock ring watches. They've got gear. And what else we have? Schmidt Alive 2 is available, of course. That download. Please remember, I am at the Los Angeles Podcast Festival in September. I believe it's the 17th, 18th, and 19th. Go ahead and pick that up. And there's tickets available. If you use the code BOY, B-O-Y, all lowercase, B-O-Y, you can get tickets to the podcast festival, or you can buy the live streaming if you want to just sit at home on your ass and watch me via your television/computer. Go ahead and use BOY. That's the code to get tickets and or live streaming, and I get credit and I get money, and thank you so much. Hey, I'll just throw this out there. The GoFundMe page is still being funded. I'm still shopping for a car. You guys are so nice to think of me. Thank you to Jamie. Thank you to Kevin. All the people who are going to do that and putting it up. I appreciate it. Thank you to Rick as well. I apologize. I got to mention Rick. For going ahead and thinking of the concept, sharing the page, and everybody who's donated, you're so cool, and I will get back to you, I promise. But we're still looking for a car, so the funding is still going on. It's nice of you to think of me, and all of the money is going toward insurance and car and funding and register and title, and you have a question.
Yeah. Is there a way to do change?
Like coinage?
Yeah, because you can only put in even dollar amounts.
Having not donated to myself, I could not tell you, but perhaps you can.
Because I went through my car, and I got at least 7 and...
Well, you can just hand me that.
I can just give you the change direct.
Yeah,
All right, well,
that's a good way to beat the IRS. Just hand me 78 cents.
Because I got a lot of nickels and stuff, but you can't do that on the fund me. It only goes dollars. You got to have dollars.
Well, you know what? Give me the change, because whatever car I buy, it just goes right in the center console. Boom. That's where all change ends up. So again, like I said, please remember to go and check out Lily Von Stup's Twitter stuff. Remember the Hollywood Burlesque Festival is coming up, and go ahead and do that. It's going to be fantastic and fun. Thank you so much to my friend David for having me in the basement yet again. And next week's show, man, I don't know where the fuck we're going to be. I don't know. And by the way, I don't even know if it's going to be a we. It might be me and David. It might be me and Lily. It might be me and a microphone. It could be from, again, as I mentioned, the youngest building in Hollywood. They've been having us on. I do appreciate that. And other than that, man, I don't know what to tell you. Just go ahead and check me out. And when you get me to Wisconsin, don't get me to the post office, because I'm going to get mad and get into a discussion about peaches, unless it's peaches that I really care about. Because I'll tell you what, I don't even like peaches. Max always says people skip the closing music. I say people love your closing music, so let's prove it to them. If you've listened this far, write me at heymexilistened@gmail.com, and we'll send you a 40-year-old boy hearing commemorative Facebook profile picture that you better fucking put up, you dick. Sorry about the dick thing. Thing. Did you get that?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, 'cause I don't want you to miss any of that brilliance.